to January 29th, 1941. I'm Henry Chop, your host, and tonight we just have a ton of vintage radio broadcasts tonight. I think you're gonna really enjoy them. It's funny how certain days only maybe an hour of stuff or even a half hour of programs got recorded, and other days just loads of stuff are out there from a specific date, and this happens to be one of those days where there is just a ton of stuff. So I'll tell you about that in just a second. I am going to give you another reminder about our newspaper channel. I think you'll enjoy that. It gives you a really good picture of what it actually was like to live in 1941. Now, the radio programs give you a picture of what it was like to sit down and listen to the radio and what people were listening and thinking back in 1941. But the newspaper actually, it really tells you what people were thinking back in 1941, and it gives you an idea of what was like. And believe it or not, some of the similarities are striking. It's really wild when you hear some of the local and regional news and some of the national news, the crime news and stuff. A lot of the types of things that were going on back in 1941, as far as the smaller crime news, not the big national stuff like the mafia and things like that, which I do read about. Some of the gun violence and stuff, sometimes it's still there. It's not as frequent as today. Maybe it just wasn't reported or whatever, but there's some stuff that's pretty wild in the crime news that'll blow your mind. And I read the news stories verbatim there. So it's interesting also to hear how they were reporting the world stories, the battlefronts and such, because both sides, the Axis and the Allies, were trying to get their own propaganda out there, and they were trying not to let the other side know what was going on. So it's fascinating to see what was put in and what was left out, and what we know today as historians really happened. So it is a really fascinating channel to hear all of that stuff. And also like us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, the World War II News and Old Time Radio channel on YouTube, and I share various stuff covering the years 1938 to 1945 on there. Just articles I share from other pages and groups that I'm a member of or like, and I think you'll just find it fascinating. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on that bell icon. Let's get the subscriber counts up on this channel and on the newspaper channel. Let's get those subscribers up, huh? All right, let me tell you what we have going on as far as vintage radio programs tonight. We have a ton of stuff, a lot of great radio listening for a Wednesday night. Well, we're going to start things off with the Lone Ranger, and he was aired in Chicago at 4:30 in the afternoon over the Mutual Broadcasting System. And this episode is titled Ambushed Ambushers. So that's what we have going on there. And then we have The Adventures of Superman. He was syndicated, did not air in Chicago, but he did air in New York over station WOR, which was their mutual outlet. And he aired at 5:15 in the evening over Mutual. So we have The Adventures of Superman. Following The Adventures of Superman, we have Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy, and we are going to continue with the Zamboanga adventure. And he aired over NBC Red at 5:30 in the evening. And now we're going to jump all the way up to 6:30 in the evening, and the Cavalcade of America also over NBC Red. And this episode is titled Dr. Franklin Takes It Easy. Cavalcade of America is interesting. It's kind of a docudrama about different historical figures in United States history. It's kind of a fun listen. It's neat hearing history in a 80-year-old point of view. It's kind of a wild thing. Then we have Dr. Christian at 7:30 in the evening, and this Dr. Christian episode is titled The Man Who Changed His Mind. So a great Dr. Christian program. Now that's 25 minutes long because in between was Elmer Davis and the news of 5 minutes of news analysis. Unfortunately, I do not have the Elmer Davis news program from this date. I really wish I did, because then you would get a full 90 minutes of what was going on CBS on this date. But unfortunately, I do not. But following the Dr. Christian, we have two Texaco Star Theater programs starring Fred Allen. The first is going to be the East Coast version. This aired at 8 o'clock CBS. And the second will be the West Coast version. Now, the title of these episodes are A Stay-at-Home Cruise. So, some great stuff here. And you know what? Wow, man, it's just a ton of great listening tonight. So, crack open a beer and just sit back in your easy chair. I know you got the dial glowing on that radio. The lights turned down low. You're going to close your eyes. And once again, it is going to be 1941.
With the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. Of the western United States, the stagecoach lines were the only means of transportation. The trails they followed led through rough country that offered perfect cover for road agents and hostile Indians. And it was not until the masked rider of the plains started his great fight for law and order that travel became safe. It was the Lone Ranger's strength and courage that blazed the trail for justice and made possible the winning of the West. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! There's going to be trouble! We've got to hurry! Hi-yo, Silver! Away!
Tumble-down ranch house loomed out of the darkness at the side of the trail. Not a single light showed in any of the windows. The Lone Ranger and Tonto reined up and dismounted. We'll let our horses drink here, Tonto, and then push on. Looks as if there'd be a place to camp in the tall timber ahead.
That's right. We make camp there.
Until our canteens, then we won't have to hunt for water in the... What is it, Tonto?
Wait. You come. This way.
Did you hear something?
That's right. Come from house. Leave horse here.
Tell him it's dead. Tell him it's dead. Death and destruction.
I heard that.
Someone in house. Talk of death.
This way, Kimasabi.
They better be told. They better be told. They'll all be murdered.
We're going in there. Come on. There she is. Seems to be here all alone.
Come. They're trying to get me. They'll get the others. It's destruction. They gotta be warned.
She's been shot, Tonto.
Hunter, look at wound.
trap.
There now, take it easy. You're going to be all right.
Here, water.
And drink this. Here, try to drink.
Wait. Leave me alone. Don't shoot no more. Let me be.
This woman needs a lot of help, Tonto. Stay here and dress that wound. I'm going back to that town that we left a few miles back. See if there's someone who can help her.
Let me be. Don't do it.
I'll be back as soon as I can make it, Tonto.
I'm not doing it.
Ready, Silver?
Hail, Silver, away!
Won't hurt you to come with me and see her, will it? What sort of a doctor are you?
Well, tain't that, stranger. It's just that I think you're downright loco, that's all.
Because I want to help a dying woman?
No, because I think you don't know what you're talking about. There ain't been no one living in that house you mentioned for a good many years.
I don't care whether or not there's been anyone living there. There's a woman there now. She needs a doctor.
Well, I got a lot of things to do right here in town.
Doctor, you're coming with me one way or the other. Take your choice.
Hey, Savvy. You got an outlaw pal hid away there with bullet trouble, and you want me to help him. Now, ain't that the truth?
I've told you the truth.
You're afraid to bring him into town on account of the law here.
We've already talked too long. Come along.
Hey, hold on. Let me be...
This way. You want to take a horse of your own, or will I have to carry you on my horse?
Now, listen, wait just a second. Let me say something.
Speak fast.
Well, if you're on the level in what you say, you wouldn't have no objection to me taking the sheriff and a couple of deputies along with you.
I'd welcome them. I think they're needed if that woman was speaking the truth.
All right, I'll go saddle up a horse. You go 2 doors yonder and tell the sheriff. I'll be ready by the time you get back.
Good enough. If you're not ready, I'll find you.
I've been ready for 10 minutes. What took you so long, Sheriff?
Want a couple of deputies to go with us, Doc. No telling what this masked gent's leading us into.
Where are they?
We'll pick them up as we ride. Let's travel.
Lead the way, stranger.
Come on, Silver.
Not so fast now. I ain't one for speed riding.
Very well.
But you got to tell me what sort of position I'm in, stranger. It ain't that I shirk my duty as a doctor. It's only that I hanker to keep on doing that duty for a few years more.
Very well.
You see, stranger, the last doc that was around here was dragged out of bed at night to plug bullet wounds for a couple of horse thieves. When he got done, they was afraid he'd squeal on them, so they shot him.
You'll not be shot, Doctor.
I know doggone well I won't.
There's the deputies. Now shove on and let's have a look at the dying woman.
Steady, Silver.
That's the house?
Yes.
Shucks, that place ain't been lived in since the Bartons moved west.
I know nothing about that.
What's the matter?
My friend's horse was left here. It's gone.
Likely strayed a bit. Let's get inside.
I can see a light inside there now.
One mighty dim one. Like that candle.
Well, there's the woman.
I'll have a look.
Tonto, where are you?
Who you calling?
My friend, he was here when I left. Tonto, where are you?
This woman is dead.
I was afraid she would be.
You mean to say she was alive when you left her?
Yes.
Sheriff, can I speak to you alone for a minute?
Sure thing, Doc. Right over this way.
Where is this pal of yours, mister?
I don't know. Seems to have left in a hurry. No sign that he's done anything at all since I left him here. I don't...
All right, Doc. Hey there, stranger.
What?
You say you left a partner here?
Yes.
That this woman was alive when you was here last?
Yes.
Just hoist your hands. Take his guns, boys.
Now, hold on. No one's taking my guns. What's the matter?
One of two things. Either that part of yours killed this woman, or you're lying. And in either case, you're under arrest.
What do you mean?
You take a close look at the dead woman and at the wound in her back. And tell me how in blazes...
Wound? Back?
That's it.
There was no wound there.
There is now. And she didn't live 1 second after it.
Well, then Tonto...
Yes, squirm out of it now. Tell us Tonto, or whatever his name is, done it.
No, but he must have been here. Someone came. Someone who...
Hey, put down them guns.
Stand back.
Sheriff,
taken captive by two outlaws. At the point of a gun, he was forced to ride with them to their camp, where Scar, the leader of the band, stepped forward to meet them.
Who's this redskin? Where'd you find him? Well, speak up. Who is he?
Give us a chance, Scar. We found him at the house.
What house?
We're near where we met up with Sadie Grant. He was fixing to patch up her wound.
So she wasn't dead.
She is now.
The job should have been done right in the first place. Now, what about this redskin?
We found him there. We don't know how much he knows.
Ain't you asked him?
Sure we have, boss. Only he won't tell nothing.
Oh. So he wouldn't tell nothing. Now, ain't that too bad? I suppose you asked him nice and gentle if he happened by chance to overhear the lady say who done for her. And he says he wouldn't tell. Yeah. That's what I think of redskins. That's just a starter. Now, do you figure I'm talking or not?
Not talk.
Maybe if I loosen a few of your teeth, you'll change your tune.
Gosh. Scar, you most knocked him loose from our hands.
Hang on to him. Talk, drat you, talk!
Gosh.
Doggone near busted my knuckles on you. Well, there's a sight easier ways to make you talk. Be sure as ropes are tight. And tie him to that tree over there and build up a fire. I got an old branding iron that will heat up.
What's the difference how much he heard, Scar? There ain't too much time to waste. Let's just drill him and then bust camp and get him moving.
You asking for a sample of my fist, Lefty?
Gosh, no, boss.
Then let me do the thinking and planning for this outfit.
Yeah, sure thing. Come on, Redskin. You're going to get tied out. You'll save yourself a heap of pain by talking now instead of later on.
Well, hold on. I'll go with you. There's more things I want to know.
Yeah, sure, boss.
Was this woman talking when you got there?
She was out of her head, sort of.
Answer what I asked. Was she talking?
Yeah, she was talking wild and crazy, saying things about death and destruction. It's a good thing we went back to make sure she was dead. She might have spoiled all her plans. I think these ropes are plenty tight.
Yeah. She was saying that, huh?
That's right, Scar.
Didn't say nothing about us having a half a score of men in the bottom of Bryant's Gap when the stage comes through?
Not that we heard.
She didn't make mention of the things we done to the bridge?
Nope.
All right, then. You just have to take the chance that no one but the redskin was there to get wise that something was going on.
Yeah, sure thing.
Why in thunder did that fool woman have to find out our plans anyhow?
Scar, you got men in this gang that's got tongues wagging too free.
I know it.
They was talking in the eating place, and that's how the old woman got wind of things.
I'll fix them. Just wait till we've got the stuff we want off of that stage. Then I'll deal with the tongue waggers. I need all the men we got till then.
Scar.
Well?
The fewer we got to whack up the stuff, why, the more each of us gets.
I know.
I'd admire tending any small details, making us fewer in number. Me and Jake could do it. Couldn't we, Jake?
Sure. Wait till after the job's done.
Oh, sure, boss. After the job's done, that's what I meant. Yeah, I reckon those ropes will hold the redskin to the tree for a time.
Yeah, let me see. That'll do. You feel like talking yet, redskin?
You big fool.
Yeah? That's for calling me a fool. How'd you like it?
You not first, Tonto. Doing the critter sure got spunk, ain't he?
We'll take it out of him. Heat up that iron.
Yeah, boss.
Well?
One thing I've been wondering about.
Speak fast, then.
Well, we got the bridge all set to get down.
Well?
Now, won't the fall kill the folks that's in this stage?
The water will likely break the fall. What if it does kill them?
Well, only that we'd have a time trying to collect ransom. The folks from the stage is dead.
Who's to know they're dead?
Huh?
We collect the ransom, and if we can't deliver the person paid for, what of it?
I savvy. Yeah, I guess you got all the angles covered, Scar. You sure don't overlook nothing.
And for the last time, Lefty, I'm telling you to let me do the thinking for this gang.
Sure, boss. I'm sorry.
See that it don't happen again, that's all. Now get the fire bill up and make it fast.
All right, boss. Come on, Jake. We'll start up a fire. It won't take long. There's plenty of wood handy.
Yeah. Now, Redskin, one thing is settled. You're gonna die.
You can die easy and quick or slow and awful painful. It's for you to decide. I'll leave you here to think it over while I go and get a branding iron hot. White hot.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scene, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. When he realized that Tonto must have been captured by outlaws, the Lone Ranger escaped from the sheriff's posse who were holding him for murder. Meanwhile, Tonto faced torture at the hands of Scar and his men. The outlaw leader and his two lieutenants walked toward the tree where the Indian was tied. A white-hot iron gleamed in Scar's hand.
Come on, you coyotes. I'll show you how to handle a redskin.
They're right with you, Scar.
Told the rest of the boys to get set to move.
Yeah, they're ready.
Stage will be along real soon. We don't want to miss that. You heard what I said, Tonto?
Me here.
We don't figure to waste much time with you. You'll talk fast or not at all, savvy? I want to know if there was anyone else around the house when that woman told things.
Me not say her tell things.
She said something, though. What did she say?
Me not talk.
All right. That's the last chance you'll get. This iron is nice and hot. It'll...
You wait.
You're gonna talk, eh?
You hit Tonto. You hit Tonto plenty time.
Hitting you didn't have no effect. We'll see what this...
Now maybe Tonto hit back.
Yeah? With your hands tied? That's a laugh.
Hand not tied.
What?
Oh, boy! Oh, get him! He's loose from the hot iron!
That hot iron is better on the ground.
A masked man! Get him! Stop him! Hold my hand!
Here, son, a gun. Tommy got him. This way, the horses.
Stop him! Get him!
Get him! We're away now, Tanner. And that be good. I know you leave a trail for me. If it were possible, you find trail in dark, yes. And Tonto here plan. These men were the ones who murdered the woman. That's right. Woman dead now. We not help. The people in stage still live. We help them. The stage, come this way plenty soon. We stop them. The westbound, That's right. Tonto tell you things.
Westbound stage held not only a fortune in paper money, but a man of national importance with the passengers. Andrew Taggart from Washington was traveling west with his daughter Joan.
Get on there!
Hour after hour, the lumbering stage had rolled on through the bright moonlit night toward the distant coast. The girl and her father dozed fitfully, troubled by the stories they had heard of outlaws in the district.
Yes, Father.
Can't you sleep, my dear?
No. I don't know why. I'm dead tired, but
But what, my dear?
I don't know what it is. I feel as though something was going...
Now, let's try to forget all those stories we've heard. Outlaws aren't going to bother us.
You are a terribly important person, though, Dad. If it were generally known that you were here, practically unguarded...
Hush! Now, let me adjust the pillow. Now, lean back against the cushions and close your eyes. There's a beastly ride ahead of you. It's rest at night when it's cool.
I'll try, Father.
There's a good girl now.
Get on there!
While the stage rumbled on, the Lone Ranger and Tonto raced to intercept it before it reached the bridge.
Come on, Gilbert!
The Lone Ranger had learned of the outlaws' plan from Tonto. He knew there was but one chance for safety for the people in the stage. They must not cross the bridge. There was no time to ride for a posse. No chance to get help enough to fight Scar's gang. The stage at all costs must be halted.
There's the stage, Tonto. Come on, Gilbert!
of this. I demand
This is no robbery. I'm trying to help you.
I'm Congressman Taggart. You realize
What did you say your name was?
Taggart.
My father's a congressman. You dare harm him or interfere with us.
Well, that's the reason.
What?
The congressman. Men are waiting ahead of here. They plan to abduct you and your daughter.
What? What's this?
There's a bridge a little west of here. The plan is to destroy the bridge.
How do you know?
We learned of the plan. The bridge is to crash down when the stage goes over it. It's weakened to do that. When the stage drops into the river, the crooks will have all of you at their mercy. They'll take whatever there is that's worthwhile. They plan to hold your passengers for ransom.
You sure of this?
Yes.
Who are you?
And why are you mad?
I can't answer your questions. That stops you to tell you must go south from here. Go to the next town and get the law to help you.
Declare, in spite of the mask, I'm inclined to trust you.
I'm telling you the truth. There's at least 10 men in the gang that's waiting for you. Tell the sheriff that the men are the same ones who killed the old lady. He'll know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know why we should trust you, stranger. If you tell who you are and take that mask
You've got to listen to me.
Look. There's the sheriff coming. Hi, Sheriff.
The sheriff.
Stay right where you are, mister. If you told us the true story, you ought to be glad the sheriff's coming.
Hey, what's going on there? Ice your head. Ice the mother wheel. Start shooting.
No, Tonto. We can't shoot at the moment.
Men come with gun for you.
Sheriff, listen to me.
All right, shoot the bird. Him again.
Hey, we got you, ain't we?
You got loose from us before, stranger, but you won't get loose this time.
Why, there's the redskin he told us about, too.
Yeah. So you found him, huh? Well, now we can learn how the woman was killed.
One moment, Sheriff.
Huh?
This is Congressman Taggart, Sheriff.
Oh, glad to know you, sir.
Thank you, Sheriff. You seem to know this masked man.
I know him for a critter that fooled us a little while ago, and one that we've been hoping to catch up with ever since.
To arrest?
Arrest and hold for murder. Him and the redskin both.
Now, hold on, Sheriff. I was telling Mr. Taggart that he should have taken the stage south from here to meet you. The gang that really killed that woman is in wait at the bottom of the bridge to the west.
For what?
To capture these important people when the bridge collapses.
That bridge ain't likely to collapse.
It's been weakened by these men.
And you ain't one of them?
No, Tonto was captured by them. He learned of the plan.
All I know is what I seen. I seen the way you busted loose from us at the abandoned house.
But I had to. Tonto was captured.
Why'd you tell us where he was held and take us with you?
You know very well that you wouldn't have given me a chance to do that.
You never said nothing about it. I think you lied.
Sheriff, you've
if
got
what
to...
you say is true, you'd have took us with you to help your partner, the Redskin. It ain't natural for an honest man to face a gang of crooks such as you talk of single-handed when he could take the law with him.
I didn't even know that I'd be able to find Tonto.
Yes, we'll be guided by your advice.
But, Father,
Right, Joan, please.
My advice is to go right on your way. Likely this critter has the rest of his gang hidden ambushed to the south of here, and he's turning you right into the trap.
That sounds quite logical.
We'll take the masked man and the redskin into the jail and see if we can't sweat a little truth-telling out of them.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Father, I'm not so sure we're doing the wise thing.
You're being influenced by this masked man.
But
Joan.
I only
Taggart.
want to...
The sheriff is either in league with these crooks or a stubborn fool.
Oh, so now you're calling me names, huh? Well, come along. Take his guns, deputy. You redskin get off that stage and mount up. You're riding with us.
Sheriff, your stubbornness gives me no choice.
Huh?
You won't let this stage escape the danger that's ahead. Will you believe what I said if I show you the bridge collapsing and the outlaws beneath it?
Stolen for time, huh?
Perhaps I am. Perhaps I've just been stolen, as you say. Till you and the deputy moved around so I could cover you both, as well as the stage driver, like this.
My hand!
My rifle's busted. There, you're all covered. Get guns on them, Tonto.
Me got him. You believe all my
I'm riding ahead. I'll show you that bridge. If you want me, come and get me.
Hail, Silver, away!
No, you fella. You follow masked man.
Get going, driver. Get the stage moving. Stay behind us. Come on, deputy. Get up there. Get up there. Get on. Get up there. Get up there. Get on there. There, keep him in sight. Don't lose him. Don't fire. Just keep after him till we can shoot straight enough to kill. Come on, boys. Follow me. Get up. Get up there. Get up there. Get on there. Get up there. Get up.
Get on there. Get on. I ain't never seen nothing like
behind him came the sheriff and his deputy. A little farther back the stage was Tonto riding close. There was no hesitation for the masked man when the bridge was reached. Silver's mighty hoofs thundered on the board. The bridge swayed and trembled. Then...
Congressman Taggart. That there man that went down with the bridge to save you was the Lone Ranger.
Please, man.
He gave his life, Father, to save us. Oh, why did that sheriff have to be so stubborn? Why couldn't the sheriff have believed him?
I'll find out who he was. I'll see that some sort of a fitting memorial is erected.
No. Him not want that.
You, Indian, you were his friend. Help us, I want to show my gratitude.
No. Lone Ranger not want thanks.
Oh, when I saw that splendid man, that fine horse go down...
There, Lone Ranger. There he is. He's not dead. He's alive.
Tell him to come. We want him.
Get him up, Scout. Oh, Silver, away! Just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! The sky! Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan daily. Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen are now deep in a baffling mystery which centers about the sacred black pearl of Osiris, an Egyptian god. Now, with the mystery thickening, it appears that even Tumbleweed Jones, Jimmy's cowboy friend, is involved, for an unknown stranger is on his trail. As our last episode ended, Tumbleweed and Jimmy were talking together in Clark Kent's apartment when a gangster named Sleepy entered, locked Jimmy in a closet, and then ordered Tumbleweed to come with him. Our scene is now Kent's apartment a few moments later. Listen.
Sure that kid's going to be all right in that dark closet?
We got nothing to worry about, Mr. Jones. The kid'll be plenty okay. He's comfortable. He's got plenty of air. Now, come on, get them shoes on. Let's go.
Where are you taking me?
You'll find out.
Well, then why are you taking me?
For $500.
Man, you mean to say somebody's paying you $500 to corral me like this and take me to him?
That's right.
Well, I sure can't blame you. For $500, I'd be happy to go and see him myself. But now, by jingo, that beats everything holler.
What does?
Why, anyone in his rotten mind would pay all that money just to get his hands on me. What have I got that he wants?
Just from looking at you, I wouldn't know, pal. Come on, get those shoes on. I'm tired. I want to go home a bit.
Now, just take it easy, friend. My feet's all swole up from keeping them in that there basin of hot water. Besides that, I got a bullet wound in my leg.
You have? That's news to me, pal. How'd you get it?
Oh, there was some Egyptian fella trying to get rough with a gal named Sidney Rycroft. She's an English explorer. Seems as how this here Egyptian fella calls himself Homie.
Huh?
Now, ain't that a peculiar name?
Sure is, Homie. Them Egyptians.
Yeah. Well, this here Egyptian fella thought she had the black pearl of Osiris, or Osiris, or whatever it is.
Sure I am.
Well, what's that?
I said, sure I am.
Sure you're what?
Serious.
Oh, no. You got it wrong. I said this here Egyptian fella thought the girl was in possession of the sacred black pearl of Osiris.
Oh, excuse me. I was yawning at the time. I didn't hear you plain. Go on.
Well, then, pay attention. Well, just as I arrived on the scene, the gal had held up the Egyptian with a gun. But he got the gun away from her and shot me with it.
The Egyptian fella shot you with the dame's gun, huh?
That's right. That's how come I got a bullet in my leg. Right here down minute.
Very interesting. You got your shoes on?
Yep. Reckon how I'm ready to go with you.
And I suggest we get started.
And I suggest you stay.
What in tarnation?
Oh, no, world
Gentlemen, I have you both covered. You, drop your gun.
Oh, wait a minute, pal.
Drop it.
I should argue.
Say, hold on here. I recognize you, mister. You're the guy that shot me in the leg. Your name's Homie.
I compliment you on your memory, Effendi.
How'd you get here? How'd you get out of that room where Superman locked you up?
Your amazing friend, Superman, as you call him, neglected to search my men and myself. We were able to pick the lock on the door of that room and make our escape. As to how I got here, most probably by the same method employed by this gangster, through the fire escape.
Now, look, pal,
But
it was...
I will do all the talking necessary.
Right.
You, Mr. Tumbleweed Jones, you are coming with me.
Now, hog tie me for a loco bronc. You mean to say you want me to?
Does there appear to be anyone else who wants you, Tumbleweed?
What do you think this here sleepy hombre was holding me up for? He wanted to take me to somebody that's willing to pay $500 for me, dead or alive. Maybe I'd better start bargaining here. How much you willing to pay for me? Come on, gentlemen, just step right up. $500 bid. Do I hear six? Do I hear...
But you fool, the humor of the situation does not strike me. I am not interested in what business others may have with you. I only know that you are coming with me, and that you are coming now.
I ain't so sure about that.
Let me remind you that I, too, can use you, dead or alive.
Now I'm sure. I reckon it's how I better go. Now, if you just give me time to get my head and coat on.
Hi, Ken. Looking for Editor White?
Yes, is he in his office?
No, but the guy I wanted to see about is, White said to tell you to go right on in. He'll be back in a little while.
Okay, thanks, Jack.
All right.
Oh, so it's you.
Hello, Mr. Kent. Yes, it's I, Mr. Sidney Rycroft.
Still insisting that you are actually Sidney Rycroft, eh?
And who has a better right than I, Mr. Kent?
There's a girl who also goes by the name of Sidney Rycroft.
Oh, yes, that rather mythical creature you claim to have met.
There's nothing mythical about her, and I did meet her. I can prove that. Jimmy Olsen and Tumbleweed Jones, a friend of mine, have also met her.
I don't believe anyone, especially Editor White, puts much stock in either young Jimmy or Tumbleweed Joe.
That doesn't matter to me. I know that girl exists, Rycroft, even if no one will believe me.
If this girl, Mr. Kent, this Sidney Rycroft, really does exist outside your imagination, why don't you produce her? Why don't you bring her here? I'd like nothing better than to meet her face to face.
I can't bring her here because I don't know where she is at the moment.
Extraordinary.
I wouldn't exactly call it that. I went to her hotel yesterday to talk to her, and the desk clerk told me that she had never been registered there.
Ah, I see. You still believe the girl actually exists, eh?
I certainly do. And further than that, I believe someone is trying to make me think she doesn't. Would I be wrong in saying that someone might be you?
Naturally. But then, of course, you don't believe that either.
What do you know about the sacred black pearl of Osiris?
Why, nothing. Nothing at all.
You're lying, Rycroft, or whatever your name is.
How dare you? Very well, Kent. You've taken no trouble to hide the fact that you dislike me. Let me suggest that you let this dislike ripen into a good, strong hatred, and we'll start even. Good day, Mr. Kent. When Editor White returns, tell him I shall see him tomorrow. Needless to say, when I do see him, you'll find yourself without a job.
I'm right about him. I know I'm right. He's no more Sidney Rycroft than I am. It's the girl's story, I believe. The girl. Got to find out what's happened to her. Where she's vanished to. Clark Kent speaking. Oh, hello, Chief. Yes, I've been waiting for you here. You'll be a little while longer, eh? All right. But, what's that? Oh, no, he decided to go along. He said he couldn't wait. Well, he said he'd be in to see you in the morning. He's got something of importance to tell you. Yes. Okay, Chief. I guess I'll be here when you get back, yes. All right, so long. I wish I could figure this thing out. There'll be so many questions to be answered. Which of these two, the girl or the man, is really Sidney Rycroft? Who's actually got the sacred black pearl of Osiris? Who's trying to get hold of Tumbleweed and why? And what...
Kent, there's a cablegram for you. Just came in over the wires.
Cablegram?
Yeah, from London.
Okay, thanks, Jack.
Don't mention it.
Cablegram from London? This must be an answer to my cable to the Explorers Club in London. Let's see now. There we are. Reply your cable, your question most unusual. Sidney Rycroft is a woman, of course. I was right. I knew I was right. The girl is Sidney Rycroft. And the man who just left here is an imposter. Well, now we're beginning to get somewhere. Now I'll really be able to figure out.
So at last the question of Sidney Rycroft's identity is answered. Clark Kent knows now that the British explorer is really a woman. Meanwhile, back at Kent's apartment, Tumbleweed Jones, at the point of a gun, prepares to leave with the Egyptian named Humi. Listen.
Well, now, I reckon it's how I'm ready to go along with you, Mr. Humi.
Excellent, Effendi. I admire you for your reasonable attitude in this matter.
Brother, when you got a gun pointing at you, you gotta be reasonable. Well, I guess we better get going.
Wait, before we go, I must be sure our gangster friend does not follow. Hey, you.
What do you want?
You will do me the favor to step into that closet. I will lock the door on you. Effendi Jones and myself will be far from this place by the time you escape.
Wait a minute. There's a boy in that closet.
A boy?
Yep. This guy here, what held me up the first time, had kind of the same idea. He put young Jimmy Olsen in that closet just to keep him safe till we got away.
I see. Well, in that case, we will lock him in this other closet. You, Tumbleweed, you open the closet door and put him inside.
That'll be kind of a pleasure. All right, you, just step in here.
I'll be happy to. I can curl up and take a nap till somebody lets me out.
That's okay with me. In you go. Suffering coyotes. I ain't never seen no one as sleepy as that there fella.
You talk too much. Lock that closet door.
Okay, Effendi. Now, you just let me turn out these lights in here. I reckon that's how we'll be ready to depart.
Never mind the lights. Listen to me. We shall go down on the elevator. I shall be holding the gun in my pocket.
Say, that's the gun you shot me in the leg with, ain't it? That's the gun you took away from Miss Rycroft.
You stall for time, Effendi. Listen. If on the elevator you make one false move, just one, this time my bullet will not find your leg, but your heart. Now then, let's...
Suffering coyotes.
The lights. It is pitch dark in here.
Something shot that lamp right off the table. By jumping Jenny Wrens, it wasn't me.
I know it was not you. There is someone else in this room. And whoever it is, he does not leave here alive. Who is it? Who shot out that lamp? Answer me.
Drop your gun, Effendi. And drop it quickly.
Suffering coyotes.
Out of the darkness of the room comes a strange whisper. Who is the whisperer? What new, unexpected twist has our mystery taken? And what of Superman? Will he bring this case to a successful conclusion? Be sure to hear the next thrill-packed episode of our story with Superman.
And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Jack Armstrong, the all-American boy. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions, known throughout the land. Wheaties, breakfast of champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the all-American boy. You know, if you were to meet just about any great athlete or coach along about this time of year and ask him exactly when you should train, you'd probably get a very definite answer. Train the year around. Try to keep yourself in tip-top physical condition 365 days out of the year. And believe me, that's an A1 piece of advice. The fellows who follow it usually have a good head start on those who think they can get away with training just once in a while. So if you've got your mind made up to get someplace in sports, and if you've got natural ability, get yourself a regular training program right now and stick to it. Naturally, you want a training program that's easy to follow, don't you? Well, one of the best and at the same time one of the simplest training programs I know is Jack Armstrong's personal training system. That famous set of rules has been enthusiastically okayed by some of the greatest coaches in the country, men whose business is training great athletes. Now, here's what you ought to be doing every single day this winter. 1, get plenty of fresh air, sleep, and exercise. 2, use a lot of soap and water, because cleanliness is mighty important to an athlete's condition. 3, eat a breakfast of champions every morning. You see, eating good, nourishing food is a big part of any training program. And when you sit yourself down to a big bowl full of Wheaties with lots of milk and fruit, you can be absolutely certain that you're getting a lot of good bodybuilding nourishment, the kind of nourishment every athlete needs to help make him a real winner. In Wheaties, you get all of the well-known essential nourishment of real whole wheat, and all of the vitamins B1 and G, and all of the minerals, and all of the food energy that nature packed into the whole wheat berry. So ask Mother right away, before you do another thing, to get you a couple of packages of Wheaties. Then get set to enjoy an extra good, extra nourishing breakfast of champions every morning. And now, Jack Armstrong, the all-American boy. Jack Armstrong and Billy, Betty, and Uncle Jim are cautiously moving through some thick underbrush to reach a rock ledge which overlooks a mountain stream in the wild Zamboanga Peninsula of Mindanao in the Philippines. Some distance downstream from this ledge is a cave where hostile tribes have hidden a supply of smuggled rifles to use in an uprising against the U.S. Army troops. This cave is well guarded by hostile natives, and Jack Armstrong knows that Lieutenant Rawlings has been captured by the natives and is a prisoner inside the cave. Malua has gone ahead to look over the situation, and now, as Jack and the others approach the rocky ledge, they see Malua returning. Listen.
Here comes Malua, Billy. We must be nearly inside of that cave.
Yeah, Jack, and that means we must be pretty close to those tribesmen, too.
But we can't be very close, Billy, or the pack horse would whinny. He always whinnies when a native comes close to him.
Someday he's going to get us into trouble that way, Betty.
Well, Malua, what did you find out?
We now close to cave, Uncle Jim. We see cave.
Did you see any of the natives guarding the cave, Malua?
We see lots men front of cave, Billy. Soon you see too. Now, we tie horse, huh?
We not take horse with us.
I'll tether the horse to this tree here, Uncle Jim. No one can see him from the trail.
Do that, Jack. Tie him well, but give him enough halter rope to move around a little. It may be quite some time before we can get back to him.
My, Uncle Jim, you talk as though we might be captured by the natives ourselves.
Not if I can help it, Betty. If we're going to help Lieutenant Rawlings, there's no telling what we'll have to do or when we'll get back.
There, Uncle Jim. The horse will stay here until we get back, unless some of the natives see him.
Fine, Jack. All right, Milo. How far do we have to go to get to that rocky ledge you spoke of?
We almost there now, Uncle Jim. Come, this way.
I'll be glad to get out of these thick bushes. The briars tear my clothes so, and just look at the scratches on my hands.
We're almost out, Betty. See, there's a clearing right ahead of us. It looks as if we're coming to the edge of some sort of a cliff, Jack. I think we are, Billy. Yep, I can see now. There's the rocky ledge Malua spoke of. And here's the last of the bushes and briars.
What? Why, we're about 50 feet straight above the creek.
Careful, everybody. Manuel's holding up his hand.
Look, Billy. Look down the creek on the right-hand side. There are a group of tribesmen standing and sitting in the bank, right where the creek turns. Holy smoke. And they're armed, too. Look at those barongs and bolos in their sashes.
Well, they look terribly fierce, don't they? But where's the cave?
It can't be far away, Betty. Can we see the cave from here, Malua?
We see cave, Uncle Jim. You see men, huh?
I see those tribesmen, Malua.
Cave right there. Cave go in hill.
But where's the entrance to the cave, Malua?
You see big bush on side of hill, Jack?
Oh, I see lots of bushes. Wait a minute. You mean that large clump of bushes right behind the tribesmen?
That's right, Jack. That's where you go in cave.
Yeah, it's not where I go into the cave, Malua. No, sirree. Not as long as those natives are standing out there.
Maybe we go in cave another way, Billy.
Another way? Is there another way into the cave, Malua?
That's right, Uncle Jim. There back way. Small back way.
Say, that's something to know. Is this back entrance guarded, Malua?
Me don't think so, Jack. Back way hard to find. Only small, all in hill.
Oh, that's wonderful. If there's a back entrance to the cave, Uncle Jim, we may be able to help Lieutenant Rawlings.
It'll certainly help, Betty. If we have to go into the cave. Jack, take a look at your pedometer. How far have we come from that spot where Michelle left us?
Oh, just a second, Uncle Jim, and I'll see. We've come, let's see, just a trifle over 4 miles.
Oh, that's fine. Manuel said he thought it was 4 miles, so we did locate this cave correctly on the map.
Then the soldiers will know just where the cave is when Michelle takes them the map.
That's right, Betty. If Michelle doesn't fall into the hands of one of the hostile tribes. Now, the first thing to do is to find out if Lieutenant Rawlings is in any danger inside that cave.
We go there, find out, Uncle Jim.
But they'll capture you, Malua.
No, they won't, Betty. Malua is still disguised as an old Moro peddler. He's been there before in that disguise. These tribesmen think that he's all for them. No, they won't think he's one of them after Yates and Carl get here, Jack.
We come back for then, Billy.
All right, Malua. You go down to the creek and talk with the tribesmen. Go inside the cave if you can and find out exactly what's happening to Lieutenant Rawlings. If you get a chance, talk to him and let him know we're here. Tell him we've sent a message to his regiment and that the soldiers will be here as fast as they can come.
Me do that, Uncle Jim. We go now.
Wait a minute, Malua. Can you tell us how to get to the back entrance of the cave? It might be a good thing to know, just in case they get suspicious of you and make you a prisoner, too.
Me tell you, Jack. You see where creek turn?
You mean that first sharp turn to the right, just a little beyond the cave?
That's right. You go up hill, above cave. You go down hill on other side where creek turn. You see small cliff. You see many tall bush. You go to very tallest bush by 2 tree. You find hole in cliff. That way you get in back of cave. You savvy, huh?
We understand perfectly, Manuel.
You be careful, Uncle Jim. You keep eyes front of head and back of head. Maybe Karang get here for you think. That very bad.
We'll keep a sharp lookout all around, Manuel. And you be careful, too. We don't want anything to happen to you.
Me no afraid, Uncle Jim. Everybody know old Moro peddler. Me go now.
Oh, I hope they don't discover who Malua really is, Uncle Jim.
I certainly hope they don't, Betty. If they knew that Malua was really one of Sultan Nakan's chieftains, it'd go pretty hard with him.
But, Uncle Jim, there isn't much chance of their finding out, is there? I mean, before Karang and Yates get here.
I don't know, Billy. But if we don't keep our eyes open, Karang and his men may come up behind us and take us by surprise.
Well, they'll have to come up by the trail, Uncle Jim, and I've been watching the trail. There's not a sign. Hey, Jack, there's somebody coming down that trail now. Say, there is somebody. I wonder who he can be.
Well, where, Jack? I don't see him.
I see him, Betty. See that little clearing halfway up the hillside just beyond the cliff? The trail goes through that clearing.
Oh, I see him. But is he by himself? Perhaps Karang and his men are behind them.
He seems to be by himself. I'll take a look at him through the binoculars and see what he looks like.
Suffering catfish. I hope that doesn't mean that Karang and his men are right behind him. Can you tell anything about him through the glasses, Uncle Jim?
Where till I get these glasses focused, Jack. There. Jack, take a look through these glasses. See if you see what I see.
Hand them here, Uncle Jim. I'll take a look. Who is he, Jack? Why are you so surprised? You know who he is, Billy? He's Mikhail. Mikhail? You mean the Moro who was with Yates when we stopped them? That's who it is. It's Mikhail himself.
But when we let him go, we saw him swim across that stream where we were camped. He went back to Karang's village.
I'm afraid he didn't go back, Betty. Evidently, he went a little ways back, then he turned around. He's coming to the cave to warn the tribesmen about Malua.
Holy smoke. He'll tell them that we're hiding somewhere around. He'll do more than that, Billy. He'll tell them who Malua really is.
Then they'll capture Malua. What can we do?
We've got to prevent Mikhail from getting to the cave, Uncle Jim.
This would certainly have to stop him, Jack.
Look, Mikhail's left the trail. He's going right down to the creek.
But why is he doing that?
Now, but I know why. He knows that we're somewhere along the trail. He's probably guessed that we're hiding up here somewhere. He doesn't want us to see him, so he's going to wade through the creek and get to the cave that way. Jumpin' Jiminy. Then we've got to get down to the creek and stop him. I'll say we do. Let's look around for a place to get down, Billy.
But it's all cliff here, Jack. There's no place to get down.
Yes, there is. Uncle Jim has his coil of mountain rope with him. Will it reach to the bottom of the cliff, Uncle Jim?
I hope so, Jack. We've got to stop Mikhail from getting to that cave if we can. Here, I'll unsling it and see if it'll reach.
Oh, but it's so dangerous, Jack, sliding down that rope.
No, it's not, Betty. The rope is knotted all the way.
We'll try it over here, behind this outcrop of rock, Jack, where no one can see us from the cave.
Here's a tree we can make the rope fast to, Uncle Jim.
Watch yourself, Billy. Don't get out from the protection of these trees. We don't want any of those tribesmen to see us now. I'll make this rope fast here. Throw it over the ledge, Jack. See if it's long enough.
Look out, Betty. I'm going to drop this rope over. There. It's not very far to the bottom. She's going to reach. No, not quite. But it's close enough, Uncle Jim. It comes to within a few feet of the bottom. We can drop that far, Uncle Jim, easily.
All right, Billy. Now, you and Jack, listen to me. I want you to stop that Moro if you can. But remember this. Malua and Rawlings are not in any danger yet, as far as we know. And the soldiers will soon be on their way here. So you're not to take any unnecessary chances.
We'll be careful, Uncle Jim.
You've got to be very careful. You're not to let him get close to you.
But, gee Wilkins, Uncle Jim, how are we going to stop him?
If you're smart, Billy, you can make him follow you. You can lure him back to the trail and then up towards me. When we get him up here, the three of us can handle him without anybody getting hurt. Do you think you can chase him up here, Jack?
Well, we'll try, Uncle Jim. Is that rope all made fast?
It's made fast, Jack. Be careful as you go down.
You bet I'll be careful. I'll go down first, Billy. Here goes. Oh, the knots in this rope help a lot. I'll be down in half a jiffy.
Oh, it looks so dangerous, Uncle Jim. If that rope should break.
That rope will hold 1,000 pounds, Betty.
Shall I start now, Uncle Jim?
Not yet, Billy. Wait till Jack gets down to the bottom.
Oh, look at Mikhail, Uncle Jim. He's already down to the creek. Maybe he'll see Jack and Billy.
No, he's too far away, Betty. There. Jack's at the bottom of the rope. I hope he hasn't too far to jump.
He jumped, Uncle Jim. There, he's on his feet.
All right, Billy. Down you go. And remember, don't take any chances. That Moro may be a mighty dangerous hombre, but somehow or other, you and Jack have got to stop him.
Jack and Billy have a tough job ahead of them. But if that Moro ever gets to the cave, it's going to be too bad for Malua. When Jack and Billy start up that creek to stop Mikhail, well, it's anybody's guess what may happen. And don't forget that Karang and his men may soon arrive. If they get there before the soldiers do, then Jack and Uncle Jim and the others will be in a tight spot. There's lots of excitement ahead, so be sure to listen in at this same time tomorrow for another thrilling episode of the Zamboanga Adventure with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Attention, fellows and girls. Tomorrow at this same time, over this same station, I'm going to make one of the most exciting and important announcements I've ever had the privilege of making. It's going to be a mighty pleasant surprise for you, so be sure to listen. I know you won't want to miss a single word of what I'm going to tell you. And say, will you do something for me the very first thing in the morning? Will you make it a point to tell 3 of your best friends to be sure to listen to Jack Armstrong tomorrow? Tell them that you're going to listen and that there's a big surprise in store for everyone. Boy, I can hardly wait to tell you about it.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the bran. This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye until tomorrow for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand.
The Cavalcade of America, presented by DuPont, maker of better things for better living through chemistry. To those men and women of science and industry who have created a civilization enriched with 1,001 comforts of daily living, and to their spirit that we shall lead in the march of human progress, this performance of the Cavalcade of America is dedicated. The Cavalcade of America presents an original radio comedy, Dr. Franklin Takes It Easy, written by Eric Barnow. A story of some of the amazing inventions of America's genial philosopher and beloved patriot, Benjamin Franklin, starring John McIntyre of the Cavalcade Players. Our Cavalcade Orchestra and the original musical score are under the direction of Don Voorhees. DuPont, maker of better things for better living through chemistry, presents John McIntyre as Benjamin Franklin on the Cavalcade of America. In his last years, Benjamin Franklin, one of the best-known men in the world, was living quietly in Philadelphia. He was over 80, happy in the midst of his family and writing long letters to his friends. Every afternoon, his little granddaughter Deborah came into his study, for he would help her with her lessons.
Grandpa?
Oh, come in.
What are you doing?
I'm working on something.
Is it an invention?
Oh, I suppose so.
Oh, aren't you wonderful, Grandpa? Is it a new invention?
Oh, sure. I'll show you.
Why, it's nothing but a long stick.
Well, it has two prongs on the end of it. You see them?
Yes.
Now, there's the secret.
What are they for?
Well, I'll show you how it works.
It doesn't look like an invention.
It is, though. Now, behold. Here, you see that book way up there on the top shelf?
With the gold letters?
That's right. Well, now, suppose I want that book.
Shall I get you your chair that unfolds into a stepladder?
No, we won't need that. Not now.
But I like to see that work. That's a good invention.
But look. Now, we hold the stick with the prongs right in front of the book. Like that, and then we go snap.
It grabs the book like a hand.
Sure. Now it's just as if your old grandpa had an arm 10 feet long. I just reach up the mechanical arm and grab a book anywhere I want.
Oh, it's wonderful.
You like that?
Oh, yes. Are you going to make any more of them?
Why, yes. I think I will. It'd be just what shopkeepers need. I'm sure they'll all want one. Then they can reach things from high shelves without any trouble.
Yes.
That's an idea, Debbie. We'll offer it to them.
Oh, my. And, Grandpa, all the neighbors are using the chair that unfolds into a stepladder. Every house on the street has one.
Indeed.
And to think you invented that only a few months ago. You're the most wonderful inventor.
I'm not.
You are, too. Everyone says so, and Mother says you're so industrious.
Huh? No, I'm not a bit industrious. I'm just plain lazy.
You are not.
Yes, I am. I'm lazy.
The laziest man you know. Why do you suppose I thought up this new invention? Other people don't mind walking up a stepladder 6 or 8 times a day to get something off a shelf, but I hate it. Why, I'm so lazy, I invented a way of getting around it.
Grandpa, how can you be so lazy if you work so hard? Why, just think of all those things you've made.
All right, now, you think of them. I'll tell you a secret. Don't tell anyone, Debbie. I invented them all for the same reason. All to save me a little bit of energy. Why, I'm probably just about the laziest man in the world.
Grandpa, I won't let you say such things. The very idea.
Did I ever tell you about my very first invention? Now, there's a good example.
Was it your Franklin stove?
No. That came years later. This is when I was just a lad up in Boston.
Did you invent something then?
Well, sort of. One day, another boy and I had gone swimming in a pond. Big pond, about a mile wide, on the edge of the town. Well, we'd been at it all day, and we were plain tired out. Then came time to start home back in Boston. Well, we were walking along the edge of the pond, and I got to wondering how long it ought to take us to get home, so we'd be in time for supper. What
Say, Ben, I wish we didn't have to walk all the way home. I'm stiff all over. Well, maybe a wagon will come along. Aren't you tired, too? Sure, Henry. I ache all over. Not a wagon in sight anywhere. Wait a minute, Henry. What's the matter? I have an idea about something. What? I want to fly my kite again. Fly your kite? Oh, what for? Come on, Ben, let's get on. No, I want to fly my kite. Look at that breeze. But let's get back to Boston. Oh, I'm tired out. You can wait a moment. Look at the kite shoot up. Look at it go. Oh, I don't care about that kite. Henry, hold it for a minute, will you? Now what? Just hold it. No, all right. That's it. I'll only be a second. What are you getting undressed for, Ben? Going to take another swim. A swim? We've been swimming all day and it's late. Oh, come on. We better be getting back or we'll get a caning. Here, Henry, hold my coat, will you? I'm going into the pond. What are you doing with the kite? You'll see. As soon as I tie it around my wrist, then I float like this. Ben, the kite's pulling you along. Sure it is, Henry. Well, that's the idea. Hey, take my clothes with you. I'm riding back. Goodbye, Henry. Meet me on the other side.
Now, you see, Debbie? I had it even then, my incurable laziness. A lot of fun it was, too. Only Henry lost one of my stockings on his way back.
Now, Grandpa, how can you keep saying you're lazy? Why, you made up so many good mottos about how people should be industrious all the time.
I hope you've learned my mottos, Debbie.
Oh, yes. We have them on our almanac at school. September was lost time is never found again. And October was the sleeping fox catches no poultry.
Well, now, making up mottos is the kind of work I like. You don't have to get out of an easy chair for that.
You mustn't say things like that. Remember what you did with those musical glasses in London.
Oh, my harmonica.
Yes, Grandpa, and your stove, and all your other inventions.
Yeah, well, now, you take that harmonica, Debbie. I'll tell you about that. That's a good point. You see, I was in London once, trying to change some laws that weren't fair to the colonies. I wasn't very successful, but I did stay in a nice, cheerful house where an English family and their daughter looked after me. Well, they spoiled me, fed me tremendously. And I became the lord of the household. Well, one day we were having a jolly dinner.
noise? Why, Mother, it sounded right in this room. Oh, strange.
Spirits, do you think?
Well, it does sound in this room, but where?
Maybe ghosts.
I'm going to look in that cupboard. Oh, Mother, it can't be in there. Oh, where are all my glasses? Well, Mother, what is it? My glassware, it's gone. All my best dinner glasses gone. Oh, it's impossible. The ones on the table, they must have been stolen.
Let me reassure you.
Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin, what have you been up to?
Let me explain, Mrs. Martin. You see this glass on the table?
Yes.
Well, when the rim of a fine glass is wet and the finger is passed gently around the rim, we get...
Extraordinary.
Notice it's difficult to tell where the sound comes from?
Yes, it seems all around us. And you were doing it under our noses.
Notice further that this glass has a slightly higher pitch than the first one. Why? Because it has less water in it.
Now, where is all my glassware?
Well, if you ladies will step into the next room, their concert is about to begin.
Mother, look at that table. All my 36 glasses in a long row.
Now, ladies, you'll notice I have water at various levels in these glasses, enabling me to produce all the tones in the musical scale. Now, what would you like? A Scottish air? A minuet? What amuses you?
Mr. Franklin, are you going to run up and down that long table to play on those glasses?
Have I eaten so prodigiously in this house that the very thought of my running is laughable?
Oh, Mr. Franklin.
Now, ladies, a Scottish air. Mrs. Martin, your glassware is safe. Nothing will be broken.
Well. Wonderful. Beautiful.
That's it. The difficult part.
Mr. Franklin, don't overdo it.
Nonsense.
Mr. Franklin, you're all out of breath. Mother, he's getting all red. I'm afraid of that apoplexy. Mr. Franklin, do you have to gallop up and down, sir? Oh, do stop, please. Don't go on.
All right.
Don't go on.
It's no use. Impossible.
I'm afraid that's not a practical musical instrument. But it was beautiful, Mr. Franklin.
Let me sit down.
Yes.
Well, I know what's the matter with it. I'll have some goblets made without stems and mount them on spindles to be revolved by a foot pedal.
That's a much better idea.
Okay. Then all the musician would have to do is to sit in a comfortable chair, operate the foot pedal, and lightly touch his hand to each glass. Now, why didn't I think of that before? You know, Debbie, within a few years, they were playing the harmonica all over Europe. Why, they played it for the Empress at the court in Vienna. But it was all my laziness.
You're teasing me.
What makes you think so? Debbie, you remember these funny spectacles I invented?
Yes, what are they for?
Well, I used to have to use two pairs, one for reading and writing and one for distant prospects. But I like to look out of the window now and then while I'm working. And it vexed me dreadfully to have to change my spectacles all the time. I was always putting on one pair of spectacles and taking off another. Well, I got so exasperated, I invented these.
Those funny ones?
Well, not funny when you have to wear them, Debbie. You see, each lens has two different focuses. The lower part is for reading, upper part for distance. Now I don't have to change spectacles at all.
I just don't understand. Grandpa, you say you're lazy, but I see you working all the time. You're always making something, and Mother says you used to spend just hours and days working on electricity.
Well, now, Debbie, that's a long, roundabout story.
All those electrical bottles and batteries and everything?
Well, I can explain that all right. Did anyone ever tell you about the electric Christmas party we had one year?
No.
Well, that's a good place to begin. One day we invited our neighbors and friends for a demonstration. But it was also a party, an electricity party. Friends, since this is an electrical Christmas party, we shall roast our turkey by an electrical jack. Over a fire, we shall now kindle by the electrical bottle.
Amazing, really.
Afterwards, a plum pudding with a flaming sauce ignited by electricity. Now, here you see our equipment.
Doesn't it look dangerous?
It is dangerous, madam. Extremely dangerous. I'd better step back there, young man.
I want to be close.
Young man, it's a good idea not to be too intimate with this apparatus unless you've had a good deal of experience with it. I caution you all to be very careful not to touch these two knobs at the same moment.
What would happen if we did?
Well, I haven't experimented. It hardly seems wise.
Step back, Tommy. Let me see, Mama.
All right, we're ready to proceed. Now, the electrical fluid will leap from this knob here across this gap, igniting the tinder for our fire.
But will we see anything?
A flash of electrical fire. Now then, we take the other knob and carefully touch.
Mr. Franklin. Must have been the electric fire.
Look at him. He's all blue.
Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin. Stand back, everybody. Let him breathe.
Oh, dear.
His heart's still beating. I can hear it. Stand back, please.
I want to see.
Oh, he'll be all right in a moment, I'm quite sure. Mr. Franklin, can you hear me? Mr. Franklin.
This is what comes of meddling with supernatural things.
Mr. Franklin. Can you hear us, Mr. Franklin?
Yes.
Are you all right?
Now, friends, we take the knob.
You've already done that, Mr. Franklin. That's why you're down on the floor now.
Yes? Where am I?
You're all right. You're just resting a moment.
You've just had a severe shock.
Oh, yes.
You're all blue, Mr. Franklin.
The blood will come back in a moment, I believe. There was quite a flash, sir.
Such a noise.
Don't try to get up, Mr. Franklin. Just sit there.
Did it hurt?
What did it feel like?
Like being struck by lightning, I imagine.
Lightning?
As if I received a blow in every part of my body. Lightning. That's it. Did you say there was a flash?
Oh, yes, sir.
And a noise like thunder.
And smell that smell. Huh? You noticed a sulfurous odor after the flash occurred?
Yes.
I thought so. Similar to the one in a thunderstorm. Friends, this supports a notion of mine that's been hounding me for weeks. If electricity and lightning really are the same, then we're on the verge of some knowledge very important. Now, forgive me for interrupting our electric Christmas party with this unseemly performance. Help me up.
Sir, it was a most vivid demonstration, Mr. Franklin.
It was very exciting.
And frightening.
And perhaps not uninstructive. Lightning and electricity. There's a common connection there. And I'm going to track it down the next thunderstorm.
Mr. Franklin?
Yes?
What are we going to do with the turkey? Oh, Tommy.
Oh, cook it in the usual way. Hurry, son. The storm's coming closer. Be careful of the kite.
But do we have to bring this?
Of course. It's the basis of the whole experiment.
I just hope none of the neighbors see us.
Why? What's the matter?
Flying a kite at your age? They'll think that we're not right in the head.
Well, don't worry so much about people's opinions, son.
He may prove something today that philosophers throughout the world are trying to learn. Turn here into this meadow.
It's starting to rain.
All right, let the kite up now as quickly as you can.
There it goes. Flying up fast.
All right, we're going to that shed there. I've got the apparatus all ready. I want you to take care of the kite, son. Here, give me the end of the line. I have to attach this key to it.
Now, if we get a spark there, does that mean that lightning is electricity?
Exactly. Is the kite far up?
Yeah.
All right. I've got the key attached.
There's a large thundercloud coming over.
Good.
Anything happening?
No.
That's a great cloud.
No sparks yet. It may be that the line isn't wet enough.
Why, what would that do?
Well, the string is not a conductor, but water is, so the string won't conduct the electricity until it's thoroughly soaked. Hey, look. See?
What is it?
The strands of hemp are standing on end, bristling up. Look.
Sparks.
The electric fluid's flowing through. We've proved it, son. We've proved it. Well, I guess you remember the rest, Debbie. Once I'd proved that, I knew how to save thousands of people's homes and churches and public buildings from being struck by lightning. Lightning rods. Lightning rods to conduct the electric fluid into the ground.
Did you invent the lightning rod out of laziness, too, Grandpa?
Of course. You think I'm joking, don't you?
I don't know.
Well, I'm not. Not exactly. With lightning rods, I made a lot of people's lives safer and more comfortable. You know, I organized the fire department here in Philadelphia. Whenever any home was struck by lightning, we'd rush out with our leather buckets to try and save lives and property. Often too late. Now, when a thunder gust comes in the middle of the night, you wake up for a moment and think, doesn't that sound good? And then you go back to sleep again, don't you?
I like to hear it thunder when I'm in bed.
Most people do, nowadays, because now they're safe. And so I did my bit to help everybody be a little lazier.
You don't really mean lazy, do you?
You understand. Yeah, I thought you did. You know, I think people are very important, don't you?
You're important.
Everybody's important. Much too important to, spend their time climbing up and down ladders all day. Why, that kind of thing makes a man a slave. And he's not a slave, Debbie. Because, man can invent things to do those jobs for him.
You mean you can, Grandpa?
Well, Debbie, in all my inventions, I was trying to make man free of drudgery. To give men freedom. That's the important thing. So they could go on and make a better world.
Well, Grandpa, if that happened, nobody would have anything to do. They'd all be like the princes in the storybooks.
It'd be better than princes. They'd be masters of everything in the material world. Yes, I believe that. Well, now it's time we got around to your lesson, isn't it?
Well, if you like.
Now, what do we have to do today?
I have to spell words for my New England primer.
Let's see that list. All right, let's hear you spell some of these words. Now, here's one. One of my favorite words. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? That's easy. Tomorrow.
A jack of all trades, a master of all. A brilliant mind that immeasurably enriched our American way of life. An amazing genius for invention, dedicated to freedom and to the prosperity and happiness of our nation and its people, for which he labored all his life. The most American of us all, Benjamin Franklin, the many-sided genius in the Cavalcade of America. The Cavalcade of America thanks John McIntyre and the Cavalcade Players for their performance of Dr. Franklin Takes It Easy. And now, Ray Collins of the Cavalcade Players to tell you about next week's program.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week the Cavalcade of America presents a radio play, Henry Clay of Kentucky. The story of the man remembered for his great slogan, "No South, no North, no East, no West," and who said, "I'd rather be right than president." Admiring any man who fought for unity in America as he did, I am happy to play the part of Henry Clay when Cavalcade comes to you next week. Thank you.
The part of Deborah on this program was played by Sarah Fussell. On the Cavalcade of America, your announcer is Clayton Collier, sending best wishes from DuPont.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
From New York City, we bring you a new Dr. Christian story called The Man Who Changed His Mind, starring Gene Hirschholt as Dr. Christian, and presented for your pleasure by the Cheesebro Manufacturing Company, owners of the trademark Vaseline, and producers of Vaseline Petroleum Jelly, Vaseline Hair Tonic, and other Vaseline specialties. It's easy for a man to jump to conclusions about his personal appearance. You may take it for granted that you must give your hair a thorough dousing every morning in order to make it well groomed. But think what happens when you douse your hair. Whether you douse with water or anything else, you get that plastered down, slick as leather appearance. Believe me, dousing can't give you what you're after. It can't give you natural-looking hair. All right, you say, if dousing won't work, what will? The answer is the comb-it-in method, using Vaseline Hair Tonic. When you use Vaseline Hair Tonic, you don't douse it on. Instead, you comb it in. Just place a few drops on the comb and run the comb through your hair several times. Your hair takes on a healthy, handsome appearance. It looks its very best, and it stays that way. Vaseline Hair Tonic won't dry out your hair and leave it brittle, hard to manage. That's because it contains no drying ingredient. Actually, Vaseline Hair Tonic supplements the natural scalp oils, and this is invaluable if your scalp is dry. For your own satisfaction, for all the confidence that goes with natural-looking, neat-looking hair, give up the douse-it-on method. Instead, begin the comb-it-in method using just a few drops of Vaseline Hair Tonic every day. Get a bottle tonight. The cast of tonight's play, The Man Who Changed His Mind, features Miss Helen Clare in the role of Judy Price, the doctor's secretary. Don McLaughlin as Alec Johnson, one of our leading merchants, the owner of our largest food store. Jeannie Elkins and Warren Mills as Dottie and Dickie, the two little Johnson children, and Patsy O'Shea as their little playmate. Now, the action of the play takes place on a lovely early spring day in River's End. The little town lies quiet and peaceful in the sunshine. But from the private office of Dr. Christian comes the sound of male voices in heated argument. Judy Price, Dr. Christian's secretary, out in the reception room, can hear Alec Johnson saying,
I tell you, Dr. Christian, you can't do this to me. I won't stand for it.
I'm sorry, Alec, but the rules of the health department allow for no exceptions. Your house must be quarantined for scarlet fever and remain quarantined.
You admitted yourself that Dickie wasn't seriously ill.
Well, Dickie has a very light case, thank goodness. In fact, it's going to be very difficult to make him stay in bed and keep quiet. But it hasn't the slightest effect on the necessity for quarantine.
But it means that I can't stay in my own house, that I'll have to move to the hotel, sleep in a strange bed, eat lunch counter food.
It's only for a few weeks.
A few weeks. I won't do it. I refuse.
Well, if you say things you don't mean, you may only have to eat your own words.
I won't leave home.
Well, then you'll have to stay in the house until Dickie's well again. But you can't live at home and go to the store every day, Alec. Because it's a food store, it's absolutely impossible.
Very well. Very well, I'll leave. But I'll tell you one thing, Dr. Christian. I'm through with you.
I'm sorry to hear that. I shall miss you, Alec. Your visits are always enlightening.
You've been our family doctor for a good many years, and you've bullied us and ordered us about, and we've taken it. My wife still makes me wear overshoes all winter just because you told her some cockeyed story about my having a weak chest since I had pneumonia. But this, well, a man has a right to his opinion, and I've changed mine. Dr. Christian, you're discharged.
Well, in that case, might I suggest you get Dr. James to come in this afternoon and see Dickie?
Oh, no. Not until this scarlet fever business is over. Dr. James is excellent, but I wouldn't trust him with a case like this. But the minute Dickie's well.
I see. Very well, Alec. I accept the discharge as of, shall we say, 6 weeks from today?
As of the moment that sign comes down. From that day forward, you and I are through. Will you remember that, Dr. Christian?
Yes, Alec. I'll remember.
No, I'm going to play in the playhouse with Dickie. Dickie can come out now and play with us and everything. Can he even ride his automobile?
Sure.
He's all well. Dr. Christian gave him some medicine and all the sick went away. You can play in the playhouse with us, too, if you want to. All right. We'll play with you want to, Dickie, this time, 'cause you've been sick. What do you want to do, Dickie? Shall we go swing? No. We could play tag. Mommy said Dickie wasn't to play running games yet. She had to go downtown, and she said I was to keep reminding him. Did your mother leave you alone?
Oh, no. Mary's taking care of it. She's doing the dishes now.
If you'll play house, Dickie, we'll let you be the father.
No, I don't want to be any old father. I know. Let's play doctor.
Well, I don't know how.
I'll show you. I know all about it, 'cause I watched Dr. Christian all the time I was sick.
What'll I do?
Well, you'll be the nurse, and I'll be the doctor, and Dot'll be the little girl that's sick.
I don't want to be sick.
Of course you do. It'll be lots of fun. We'll make a bed for you right here in the playhouse and come to call on you and give you some medicine.
Well?
Let's see. I've got to have a hat and a case to carry my medicine in.
You could use Mommy's old black pocketbook for that.
Yeah, and I'll get Daddy's Sunday hat. Daddy, you get into bed right here in the playhouse. And Pat, you be taking care of her, and I'll come driving up in my automobile.
I can't go to bed. I'll break the doll's cradle if I get in it. You make a bed. Now, I'll put down a blanket, and you can take the doll pillow. Right here in the corner. All right? Now cover me up. There, now. Wait till I put on an apron so I'll look like a regular nurse. Now we'll start. Oh, my dear Miss Johnson, how badly you're looking this morning. Your face is all white. I feel awfully sick. I'll go right to the telephone and call the doctor and have him come and give you some medicine. Hello? Hello? Dr. Christian? Come quick, please, and give Miss Johnson some medicine. Yes? Yes, you'd better hurry. Goodbye. He's coming right over. What? Why, my goodness. He did hurry. He's driving up in front right now. Tell him I have an awful pain. Good morning, Doctor. Miss Johnson's very sick. She's got a pain and she needs some medicine.
Oh, I've got a whole case of it right here. Get me a glass of water, nurse. Now, open your mouth wide, please. Say ah.
Ah.
Uh-huh. You've been eating too much candy, Miss Johnson.
I have not.
Well, that's no way to answer the doctor. You've been eating too much candy, Miss Johnson, and I'm going to have to give you lots of very bad-tasting medicine to make you well.
I don't want bad-tasting medicine.
Well, you've got to take it. Open your mouth now. Open wide. Hold the water, nurse. I've got a lot of bottles of medicine. I've got to mix them all up. Here. Now take this pill, and this one, and this one.
I can't take so many things.
You've got to.
I don't want to.
If you won't be a good patient, we can't play.
Well, all right. But I don't like this part.
Here.
Ugh. I don't like it. It's awful.
Now take this kind.
No.
Listen, you're supposed to be very sick, and you can't get well with just one kind of pill. Here's a pink one, and a brown one, and a white one.
What's that funny face for on that bottle?
Oh, that's a picture of somebody sick, I guess. Here, swallow.
That's a good girl. Here, want some more water? No, and that's all I'm going to take, too.
Well, I'll leave some more, so if it starts to hurt you again.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, that's all right. I got lots of them in my case.
Now, I'll tuck you in and pull down the shades, and you take a nice nap. You won't go away, will you? No, we're just going outside and talk about a few cases. You'll sit in Dr. Christian's automobile. Now, you be quiet. I don't feel awful good. You'll be better when you wake up. Come on, Doctor. Well, she's cured. What'll we do now?
Well, maybe we can find somebody else that don't feel good.
Where do you suppose Dr. Christian finds out about everybody that's sick?
I don't know. Maybe if we ask him, he'd let us have some of his patients.
I bet he would. Let's go see him right now.
What do we do with Dot? Take her along?
Oh, no. She's sick. She's asleep. Say, Dickie, there ought to be a sign on the playhouse. Maybe she's got something catching.
Oh, she has. It's awful catching. Nobody must go in there ever.
How do we keep them out without a sign?
Oh, I know. We'll lock the door. That'll keep everybody out till we get back.
All right.
Here, give me the key, Dot. There, now nobody will catch any old germs. Come on, get in the automobile. We'll drive right up to Dr. Christian's office. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, it's nothing to worry about, Judy. It's just a headache.
It's exhaustion and overwork and not getting any sleep and worrying about everybody in River's End.
All right. I think it's just a headache. I've taken a tablet and I'm going to lie down.
Please try to sleep. If there's anything really important, I'll call you. And if not, you rest until office hours.
All right, Judy. I'll close this door.
Now, where was I? Oh, yes, these reports.
Hello, Judy.
Why, Dickie Johnson, what are you doing here?
Patty and me came to see Dr. Christian.
Where is he?
Well, he isn't here just now.
Oh, is he in his automobile?
No, he's gone into his private office to lie down. He's got a headache.
Can't he get up?
Well, I suppose he could. But just now, he's probably asleep.
Oh, gee, we wanted to visit a doctor.
Don't you feel well?
Oh, we feel all right. We're playing doctor.
He's Dr. Johnson, and I'm Nurse Patty.
Oh, I see. And you came to call on a colleague.
A what?
You came to call on another doctor.
Oh, yeah. We got our automobile outside.
Now, don't tell me you drove all the way up here from your house in that big red roadster you got last Christmas.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've got a medicine case, too.
Have you? Yes, I see you have. What's in it? Sugar pills?
Oh, lots of things.
We got a patient, too. Awful sick patient.
Have you really? Who's that?
Dot.
Oh, Dickie's little sister, huh? Well, I hope you two are taking good care of her.
We put her to bed in the playhouse.
Well, rest is one of the things doctors often prescribe.
Oh, I gave her some medicine, too. A lot of medicine.
Did you? Did it help her any?
Well, I guess so. We'll go back by and see.
You mean you left her in the playhouse?
Of course. She's a patient like I was when I had scarlet fever. I couldn't go out.
He didn't dare come outdoors for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Well, you probably cured Dottie so quickly she's up and out playing by now.
Oh, no, she can't get out till the doctor says so.
We locked the playhouse door.
Oh, should you have done that? She may not like it.
Oh, I'll go get her in a minute. Oh, look what I got. Lots of bottles.
Goodness, you have got a medicine case. Dickie, where did you get these things?
Out of the chest in the bathroom. They're medicine.
I know they are. Dickie, you didn't give any of these to Dottie, did you?
Of course. That's what's going to make her well.
You gave her medicine out of these bottles?
Uh-huh.
Out of which ones?
Well, I don't remember exactly. This one, I guess. And this one, too.
Dickie. Oh, my heavens. Now, Dickie, you stay right here. You too, Patty. Don't you move till I get back.
Well, but hurry, because I got to see my patient.
Dr. Christian. Dr. Christian.
Yeah? What is it?
Dr. Christian, get up, quick.
What's the matter?
Look.
Well, what are you doing with those, Judy?
Dr. Christian, the children, Dickie Johnson, Patty Wells, they've been playing doctor, and they gave Dottie Johnson some medicine.
Medicine?
Some of...
Not some of this.
Yes, all of those. Is there anything...
Where is she?
In the Johnson Playhouse.
I'll get her. Have everything ready. Start to sterilize.
Yes.
Get a needle and syringe ready.
All right.
And a stomach pump.
Yes.
And call the parents to come as quickly as they can.
Dr. Christian, she's just taking a nap, like you made me do when I was sick.
Yes, I know, Dickie. Try to remember which of the pills you gave Dottie.
Well, I don't remember. Not exactly, but I think it was a pink one and a brown one.
Oh.
And some white ones, too.
The white ones in the little tube?
Yeah, I gave her a lot so she'd get well fast.
Dickie, the door won't open.
We locked it. Daddy's got something catching. Nobody can go in.
Oh, the key. Where's the key?
Oh, it's in my pocket somewhere. Maybe it's in this one.
Oh, hurry, Dickie, hurry.
I can't find it. I guess maybe I lost it.
Dickie, look.
Oh, maybe I left it in your office.
Shall I go see?
No, there's no time. Dottie.
She's asleep.
Stand back, children. I'm going to force the door.
What for?
We've got to get into Dottie.
Oh, don't do that. You'll break it.
I'm sorry, but...
Oh, yeah, I told you. It's all splitting.
Oh, look. You spoiled the playhouse.
Dottie.
See? She's all sound asleep.
Dottie. Stand out of the way, children.
Dr. Christian. Dottie looks funny. Her eyes are open, but she don't see me.
She's all limp like my rag doll.
Dr. Christian, what's the matter with her? Why are you taking her away? Are you going to fix her?
I don't know, Dickie. I don't know.
Any change?
Not yet. Nothing to do now but wait. I've used every antidote I know. If she reacts to the heart stimulant, There's a chance.
Oh, the poor baby.
Did you get her mother?
I phoned all over town. Mother went to Center City to do some shopping, and nobody knows where Mr. Johnson went. He left the store right after lunch. I've got the operator trying to locate him. Some schoolgirl was supposed to be taking care of the children.
Yeah. Imagine leaving an array of medicines like that in an unlocked medicine chest.
Oh.
Her heart's just the least bit stronger.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, Dr. Christian, you're white as a sheet. You've worked so hard. And after the way Mr. Johnson treated you...
Put that other blanket over, Judy. Keep her warm.
Listen, there's someone in the office. I'll go see. Maybe it's her mother. Oh, Mr. Johnson, just a minute. I'll see if the doctor...
Miss Price, I want to see Dr. Christian at once.
Well, I don't know.
I'll listen to no excuses. I consider this an outrage, an actual outrage.
What do you mean?
I told Dr. Christian a couple of months ago that when Dickie came out of quarantine, his services to my family were at an end.
But he...
Flatly, he was fired, and I wasn't joking.
Mr. Johnson, do you mean...
I mean that I consider this afternoon's performance ridiculous and unethical.
I don't believe you know what you're talking about.
Well, I expect to find out in a hurry. I was driving past my house, and Dickie comes rushing out, screaming that Dr. Christian broke down the door of the playhouse and took Dottie away.
Well,
What did he mean? Frightening my son practically into hysterics and kidnapping my daughter? Is he gone crazy? Where is he? Where's Dottie?
She's in there.
What's she in there for? Oh, I suppose Dr. Christian's got some notion she's going to come down with scarlet fever now and is going to quarantine us again. Well, I won't have it.
Mr. Johnson, it isn't scarlet fever.
I won't. What isn't? What does he imagine it is? Oh, now, Miss Price, Dr. Christian's an alarm.
Mr. Johnson, please.
What's the matter? Something happened? Is there something serious the matter with Dottie?
It seems very serious. Dr. Christian's done everything to save her.
Save her? What is it? Let me in there. I want to see her.
I suppose you can go in, but be very quiet, Mr. Johnson.
Quiet? Why? Is he... Oh, there you are, Doctor. Dr. Christian, what's this all about? Where's Dottie?
Dottie's here.
Dottie? Good heaven. What is it? Dr. Christian, what's the matter with her? What ails my baby?
She's very ill, Mr. Johnson.
Ill? What makes her look like that? She's not...
I don't know yet. She had a very large dose of these.
Those? But they're all poison.
Yes.
Dr. Christian, do something. Do something.
There's nothing more to do. I've done everything.
How did it happen?
Oh, the children playing doctor.
Oh, merciful heavens. You broke the door down to get to her.
I had to. I'm sorry.
After the way I've acted, you did all this to save my baby.
I did my best. She's stirring. Her pulse is getting stronger.
Dr. Christian, you won't let her die.
Look, she's going to open her eyes. Let her see you. Then she won't be frightened.
Daddy?
Yes, Dottie. Daddy's here.
I don't feel so good.
You'll feel better soon.
I'm being a patient. We're playing. I'm sick.
There. Don't talk. I think the crisis is past.
I mean, she'll live?
I feel sure of it. Her pulse is much better. Judy, will you keep an eye on her?
Yes, Doctor.
Come along, Alec.
Dr. Christian, can you possibly forgive a fool like me?
Maybe you weren't a fool.
No, I was a blithering idiot. You remember what you told me once about having to eat my words? Well, I'm eating them now. Dr. Christian, may I offer you a life contract as the Johnson family doctor?
Well, thank you for knowing how you feel.
I feel that you're the best physician and the finest man on the face of this earth.
Oh, now, Alec, your estimate of my virtues is slightly exaggerated.
And the curtain descends on another happy ending in River's End. Happy because of our good Dr. Christian's faculty for solving all problems. Gene Hirschholt, whose sympathetic portrayal of the role of Dr. Christian has made our doctor the most popular doctor in the USA, will be here to say goodnight to you in just a moment. Turning the tables on dry scalp is easy, provided you use the right hair preparation. What you need is Vaseline Hair Tonic. When you start using it, you'll discover how tight, itchy scalp is relieved, how dandruff scales are checked, how brittle, stubborn hair becomes soft, handsome, easy to manage. There's good reason why Vaseline Hair Tonic fights dry scalp so effectively. Vaseline Hair Tonic contains absolutely nothing that can possibly dry your scalp. It actually supplements those natural oils so vital for good-looking, healthy-looking hair. Here's what to do. Each morning, comb in a few drops of Vaseline Hair Tonic. This thoroughgoing treatment relieves dry scalp, puts your hair in fine condition, makes it soft, handsome, natural-looking. Get Vaseline Hair Tonic tomorrow. Generous bottles are 40 and 70 cents. Now here is our star, Jean Hirschholt. Dr. Christian, I just caught a glimpse of the title of next week's play, The Doctor Has Oomph. Now, what does that mean?
Well, don't you think he has?
Has what?
Oomph. You know, what it takes.
What it takes for what?
To catch the widow Langley.
Oh, don't remind me of that episode. I don't want to think about it.
Well, you'd better be reminded of it, because that's your story for next week.
Well, friends, by now I guess you know that when duty gives orders, even the doctor steps around. So next week we'll tell you the story of one of my very narrow escapes. I invite you all to join us again at the same hour next Wednesday evening. Until then, I'll say good night.
Picture, Remedy for Riches, just released through RKO. Watch for it at your local theater. If you're suffering the miserable discomforts of a head cold, here's what to do. Sniff a little Vaseline jelly up each nostril. It will lubricate dry nasal passages, soothe the irritation. Get relief with Vaseline jelly, only 10 cents. Andre Baruch announcing, this is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Texaco Star Theater. The more than 45,000 Texaco dealers from coast to coast welcome you to an hour of mirth and melody. With our star comedian, Fred Allen, Kenny Baker, and Portman Hoffa. Our guest, Mr. Norman Gray, the electric shaver tester. The Martins and Al Goodman's orchestra. It's Texaco time.
Caught in the rain and found ourselves on the doorstep of number 10 Lullaby Lane. And wasn't it a lucky thing? The man came out to explain that we were just the right people for number 10 Lullaby Lane. He told us we could move right in if we would sign the lease. But when we said we were glad, he said he was also just on the piece. So if you're in the neighborhood and you get caught in the rain, you'll find us waiting to greet you at number 10 Lullaby Lane.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you that Wednesday night merrymaker.
Come on, make it
that
fast.
That tickler of America's funny bone.
We've got a long show.
Everybody's favorite.
Just a minute, Mr. Wallington.
All right, come in. Pardon me, brother. I got to test this mic.
1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Just a minute, mister. We're on the air.
Don't be too sure, Bud. That's what I'm here to find out.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Say, what is this? Who are you?
Look, pal, I happen to be assistant chief technician of this network.
Oh, so?
So I got to make sure you're on the air, don't I? If you're not on the air, it looks bad for the network.
Well,
So I'm checking if you're on the air. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Look, tell me one thing, will you? How can you tell by woof-woofing and yelling, hello, Max, if I am on the air?
Why, it's simple. Out in Jersey, on the 16th floor of our transmitter tower, sits Max.
And who is Max?
Max is only the chief technician of the whole network, that's all.
Oh.
Yeah, Max is sitting in front of a radio. If he hears me, you're on the air.
Well, how can you tell if Max hears you?
Max will ring up and tell me.
Oh,
Then you go right ahead. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Say, Fred, while we're waiting for Max's call, do you mind if I finish introducing you? I've got to get away.
No, go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is.
Hold it. That's for me. Hello, Max. Oh, you didn't, huh? Okay, I'll try again. Huh? What, the last race? Yeah, it was Little Caporis by 4 legs. No, I don't know what he paid. So long, Max.
That was Max?
Yeah, he didn't hear me.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Now, just a minute, please. My knowledge of radio mechanics may be limited, but there must be another way of finding out whether or not we are on the air. Can't we just call up Jack Benny's writers?
You're on the air when Max says you are.
Oh, and until then...
It's 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Look, child, now 2 minutes ago, 3 vice presidents gave me their personal signals. 4 technicians threw in switches. 5 lights went on saying we're on the air.
But, pal, we're not getting nowhere. It's too hot in here to argue. It's too cold outside to pick it.
So?
So? 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max. Hi, fellas. What's going on?
What isn't going on, Kenny?
Woof, woof. Hello, Max. Woof, woof. Who's this guy with the dog talk?
Oh, he's a big technician. He's trying to find out if we're on the air.
Oh. 1, 2, 3. Woof, woof. Hello, Max. Oh, I'll get it. Hello, Max. Oh, you still can't hear, huh?
Has he got his radio plugged in?
Quiet, Stope. No, not you, Max. Some jerk here just asked if you got your radio plugged in. Oh. Well, plug it in, Max. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Now, pardon me, Edison. Can't you just call up somebody outside who has a radio and ask them if they can hear us?
Listen, Dope. Max is a graduate of 5 technical institutes. 15 years Max has been studying frequency modulation. 12 diplomas Max has got for majoring in short wave.
So what?
So you want to take a layman's word against Max's. I'm laughing.
But now, wait a minute.
Please. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Oh, this is it. Hello, Max. Oh, you still can't hear, huh? Well, look, maybe an N52 FBX shorter than the VIM condenser, huh?
Has he got his radio turned on?
Look, buddy. Hey, Max, that lunk here just said... Hey, Max, you know that little dial under the window of your radio? Yeah, the window with the numbers of the stations on it. Well, on one side of the dial it says off, and on the other side it says on. Now, to which side does it point? Oh. Well, turn it to on. Yeah, go ahead, Max. Hey, Max, what are you yelling about? Stop being so jumpy. When you turn the dial, a light always goes on in the window. Sure. Okay, here I go again.
Gee, I don't...
Poor Max. The responsibility of the job is ruining his nerves. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Thank heavens Marconi didn't live to see this.
This is it for dope. Hello, Max. You heard it? Great work, Max. See you later.
Well?
You're on the air.
Go ahead, Mr. Wallington.
And here he is, Fred Allen, in person.
Well, that was... Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's too bad to have you applaud so frequently there. I was going to use that other reception, make it do for this, but of course, if you're in the mood. And now, before anybody else can say 1, 2, 3, woof, woof, hello, Max, we turn to a brief resume of the latest news of the week. The Texaco News presents a few brisk highlights from the world of news. Bear Mountain, New York. A peculiar animal, a member of the deer family, is added to the zoological collection at Trailside Museum in Bear Mountain Park. Unusual quadruped found grazing at roadside baffles zoo curator and New York mammal authorities who have been asked to identify this ruminant freak. Texaco News interviews ranger who found the forest monstrosity to get the species lowdown for all America. Presenting then, Mr. Buford Hike. Just what is your job, Buford?
I'm a forest ranger ranging out at Bear Mountain.
Oh, I see. Well, what about this unusual animal you caught up there, Buford?
Never seen a critter like it.
You don't say. Can you describe it for us?
No living man could describe that nature's mess.
Well, you can give us an idea. What was it like?
Well, sir, from a distance, it looked like a jumbo mouse.
A jumbo mouse?
Yeah, it was albino colored with dirty brown spots on it.
Uh-huh.
Looked like somebody had shot at it with a water pistol full of peanut butter and missed.
It was from a distance. Well, how did it look close to?
Well, the head was that of a stunted otter.
A stunted otter?
Yep. Out of the forehead hung 2 caribou ears.
Yeah.
It had a short beaver neck with no Adam's apple. The body was a cross between a big mongoose and a bandicoot.
Well, how about the legs?
The gol darn thing had 3 antelope legs, and the 4th leg was a puma paw.
The 4th leg, really?
And hanging down in the back was no tail.
Hanging in What did you do when you had caught it, Buford?
Well, I took it straight off to the zoo and set it down in front of the curator.
And what was the curator's reaction?
He took one look at the thing, jumped up, and said, "The man who caught that's a liar."
Louisville, Illinois. Wife of Clay County farmer presents proud father with twins weighing 22 pounds. Case called unique in authenticated medical annals arouses nationwide interest. Texaco News interviews neighbor of the happy mother to check on the giant twins. Presenting Mrs. Wilkie Snipe. You know about the twins, Mrs. Snipe?
Yep, they sure are bulky babies, all right.
You've actually seen them?
I was there when the stork come.
And the twins weighed 22 pounds?
Yep, the stork had 4 eagles helping him. And a sparrow.
A sparrow?
The sparrow was carrying the safety pins.
Oh, Beaumont, Texas. Innovation in boat launching technique proves great success at local shipyards. New cargo boat, the Cape Lookout, is launched with bananas instead of customary ship grease. Texaco News grills Maritime Authority to learn if the banana is to revolutionize all future launchings. Presenting Captain Squall.
Heave ho, mates.
Well, you can drop your anchor there anyplace, Captain.
Aye, matey, I will.
I just missed your foot. You're lucky, aren't you? Well, tell me, Captain, do you think the banana will replace the outmoded grease at ship launchings?
Off my bone. If the banana ain't put the skids under grease for good.
Well, how did bananas work out when you launched the Cape Lookout at Beaumont last week?
Well, sir, heave to and I'll tell you.
Fine, I shall.
We took 7,000 pounds of ripe, juicy bananas.
I see.
We squished them up and spread this goo all over the hull.
Yeah?
Soon as the boat was bananaed, well gooed from prow to stern, I gave the signal.
And?
The 400 men who was holding the boat let go. That's all, brother.
The banana? The banana is making a big difference in Beaumont shipyards, I imagine.
Yes, sir. When you see a man at Beaumont with a banana today...
Yes?
Nobody knows if he's going out to lunch or out to launch.
New York City, that's all, brother. New York City, New York. The latest smash hit show to open on Broadway is Morse Hart's musical play starring Miss Gertrude Lawrence called Lady in the Dark. Critics strain at their adjectives praising show and individual performances, and showmen predict Lady in the Dark will run a year. Texaco News brings you a digest version of this new hit show, Lady in the Dark. Lady in the Dark.
Oh, Mr. Bascom, really?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Baker comes from out of the nowhere into your ear, and the title of Kenny's song is based on a remark Gilbert made the first time he met Sullivan. Gilbert said, "We could make such beautiful music together."
could make such beautiful music together. We could sing the loveliest love songs together. Heartbeat in tempo, the sound of our voices ring, the touch of our hands makes us sing, the touch of our lips will be magic. Lovely chords resound from the blend of a few notes. You and I and love are the blending of true notes, no blue notes. Say the words that I long for. Let them be the theme of our song, for we could make such beautiful music together. We don't need a singing violin to thrill us. We don't need a thrumming of a heartbeat song. Neath the stars, the beauty of the night will fill us. We can make a symphony that's all our own. Lovely chords resound from the blend of a few notes. You and I and love are the blending of true notes, no blue notes. Say the words that I long for. Let them be the theme of our song, for we could make such beautiful music together.
Very nice, Penny.
Say, Mr. Allen,
Yes?
I think that good enough to get a sled?
What do you mean, a sled?
Dennis Day's going to get a sled. Jack Benny's going to give him one.
Oh, I don't believe it.
All right, look at this letter I just got from Dennis. Read what it says right down there at the bottom.
Mr. Benny likes my singing so much, he is going to give me a present. He has promised me that the next time it snows in Hollywood, he will get an old grapefruit crate and build me a sled.
Boy, is that generosity.
All right, Kenny, I refuse to be outdone. If it snows in Hollywood, and if Mr. Benny builds Dennis a grapefruit crate sled, I personally will buy you the largest size flexible flyer that's made.
Gee, a flexible flyer. That's a whole lot better than a grapefruit crate.
Oh, yes, Kenny. On this program, we appreciate the importance of flexibility, and that's because we have Larry Elliott to point it out to us. Do you mind pointing again, Larry?
Well, people who drive a car north of the freezing line, and that takes in most of the country this time of year, are called upon for driving skill that's flexible enough to match snow, ice, and uncertain weather conditions. And that sort of driving demands flexible power from a gasoline, too. The kind of surging, constant, yet flexible power supplied by Sky Chief, Texaco's different premium gasoline. Yes, that's what you really want for winter driving. Then you know you're in control, whether you're crawling through traffic at 4 miles or cruising the highway at 40. That feeling of Sky Chief power underfoot adds to your confidence. It takes hold quickly, gets you rolling fast. Your car responds to your every demand quietly and smoothly. Fly the highways with Sky Chief, your Texaco dealer's premium gasoline for those who want the best.
Maestro Goodman and his ensemble have just played Dark Eyes from Mr. Goodman's optical condition of the same name. And now, ladies and...
Mr. Allen!
Oh, hello, Portland. Hi.
Can we use your microphone a minute?
We?
Yes. There's a lady outside, and she's all unstrung.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, string her and bring her in.
You can come in, miss.
Thank you.
What is it you want, madam?
I have got to get to a microphone. It is urgent.
Urgent?
I have a message that will turn radio into a hive of futility.
Well, I don't...
My message will cause every swing band in radio to give itself up.
No kidding.
My message will force every radio tenor to quit.
And you want to use my microphone for this devastating announcement?
If I may.
All right. I shall present you. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by for a very important message. Go ahead, madam.
I have just had a henna rinse.
That is all?
That is all.
You say every swing band will give itself up, every radio tenor will have to quit because you have had a henna rinse? Who are you, lady?
I was formerly Jeannie with the light brown hair.
Look for... Standing right next to me, and I didn't recognize her. I should have at least placed her by ear, if by not by eye. Now, look, Portland, the next time you come in here, I suggest that you emulate the bee.
The bee?
Yes, when the bee goes anyplace, he leaves his wax outside. Now, you keep bringing these wax in here.
What's a wax?
Well, ask your mother. She raised enough of them. You know there are more whacks in your family than there are in a spanking? Do you know how many... Oh, I had another line there, didn't I? You won't go ahead, huh? Do you know how many whacks there are in a spanking?
Nobody knows. You can't see to count them.
Why can't you?
Because your back is always turned.
Goodbye, Portland.
Am I going?
Yes, you are. But before you go, introduce our guest, Major Bowes, Amateur of the Month.
But Major Bowes' week is next week.
Oh, this isn't Major Bowes' week, is it? That's right. Well, who is our guest tonight?
He's the most shaved man in the world.
The most shaved man?
Yes. He shaves 20 times a day, and yet he's never completely shaved.
Well, who is this hirsute phenomenon, Portland?
He's the head electric shaver tester for the Schick Shaver Company, Mr. Norman Gray.
Well, good evening, Mr. Gray.
Good evening, Fred.
Now, Portland tells me, Mr. Gray, that you, from the neck up, are the official proving ground for the Schick Shaver Company.
That's right, Fred.
And your job demands that you keep shaving all day long?
Yes, Fred. I test 3 different sorts of electric shavers. The present Schick model, experimental new models, and the models that our competitors are putting out.
Well, I guess you're pretty happy after testing a competitor's shaver if you can rush into the front office with part of your jowl gone and shout, "Hooray, it gouges," unquote. But tell me, Mr. Gray, I don't remember seeing the electric shaver invented in Edison the Boy or Edison the Man. Did Don Amici work it out in some other picture?
No, Fred. Colonel Schick invented the electric shaver back in 1930.
Well, how come? Did he have a heavy beard and a lot of old kilowatts he didn't know what to do with?
No. Colonel Schick was up in Alaska with the U.S. Army. It was too cold to shave with soap and water, so the colonel thought a dry shave would solve the problem. He worked on the idea and finally brought out the first electric shaver.
Proving once again that necessity is what's this? Well, what is the principle of the chopped tractor, Mr. Gray?
It's quite simple, Fred. The electric shaver consists of 2 slotted sheets of steel, one fixed and one moving.
Well, how is the potential goatee guillotine?
As the shaver moves along the face, the hairs are guided into tiny slots, where they are sheared off by the inside shearing head that moves back and forth.
Well, that accounts for the subdued humming, the obligato most shavers give out with each once-over lightly.
Yes, it's caused by the speed of the machine. The inside shearing head makes more than 14,000 cutting motions a minute.
14,000? Well, that's almost as fast as my scenes were cut out of a certain moving picture. By a certain semi-bald comedian who broke into the studio and cut by candlelight at midnight. But excuse me, Mr. Gray, in a discussion that concerns hair, this party's name, of course, is entirely out of place.
I understand, Fred.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Now tell me, how long has your face been giving its all to these chin landscapers?
I've been doing this work for 6 years.
Well, why has your face been singled out for testing? Are you just razorgenic? Have your bristles got that old AC and DC appeal?
No. My job is testing shavers, Fred. I have to use somebody's face, and my face is the handiest.
Uh-huh. Well, suppose you have a busy day and use up your own face completely. You have it shaved as smooth as a seal's hip. Now, how do you... I'm speaking from memory. I haven't seen a seal for years, honestly. But now you've shaved your face smooth. Now, how do you get some whiskers in a hurry? You send out an SOS for Paul Muni? Or whom do you get?
There are 12 assistant engineers whose faces I use occasionally.
Oh, they always have a little fuzz on tap, huh?
Yes, these men are all instructed to come to work unshaven, Fred.
But tell me, how many shavers do you test in a day?
I may have to shave 20 times during the day.
Gosh, I don't know how you do it. Unless you come to work with a long face, of course.
That isn't necessary, Fred. I never shave my entire face at one time. I only use a small square patch for each test.
In other words, you are shaving constantly from morning to night, and yet you are never completely shaved.
That's right.
Well, yours is the only life I know of where it's a case of hair today and hair tomorrow, too, Mr. Gray. But about your 12 fur-bearing assistants, do you use their faces every day, or only when your own chin fodder is getting low?
I use them all the time, Fred. My face is useless for some experiments.
Why is that?
Well, all beards and all skins aren't alike, and we must be sure that our shavers are suited to all beards. I have the faces I work on classified into many types.
Well, would you say my face fitted into any of your categories? Don't look at it all at once. It'll undo you. Would you say that my... Just take a side slant, mister. Would you say that my face fitted into any of your categories, Mr. Gray?
Yes. At a glance, I would say your skin is the sensitive type.
Really? Well, it may look sensitive, but after 9 years in radio, Mr. Gray, I have the skin of a $2 suitcase. Well, it's been nice of you to stop by this evening and tell us how we can keep chic and span, and to give us the lowdown on your almost unique occupation. I guess you and Mickey Rooney are the only ones who can boast of similar careers.
I don't see the connection, Fred.
Well, Mickey Rooney also makes a good living, Mr. Gray. And like you, Mickey is nothing but a perennial shaver.
Wow. Good night, Fred.
Good night, and thank you, Mr. Norman Gray. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Martins rehearse a song they're preparing for all folks who are receiving their income tax blanks these days. The Martin song is Cheer Up.
Don't fret because of rain, you'll get sunshine just the same. Cheer up, for the best is yet to come. You missed the boat today, there's another on the way. Cheer up, for the best is yet to come. Just sing a happy song, someone may come along. Heads up, can't you see that silver lining shining? You're not a millionaire, but you've got a smile to share. Cheer up, what's the use of being glum? So won't you cheer up, the best is yet to. Keep on singing the song, keep on singing the old bit. The people don't hurry, they live a century right through. La la la, they have an antidote for worry. I'll pass the secret on to you. Don't fret, because of rain you get sunshine just the same. Cheer up, cheer up, cheer up, cheer up. best is yet to come. You missed the boat today. There's another one on the way. Cheer up, cheer up. The best is yet to come. Just sing a happy song. Someone may come along. Heads up. Can't you see that silver lining shining? You're not a millionaire, but you've got a smile to share. Cheer up, what's the use of being glum? So won't you cheer up, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Cheer up, cheer up, cheer up.
The Martins, ladies and gentlemen.
Pardon me, Mr. Allen. May I interrupt? Has anybody here seen anything of a locomotive? A large locomotive with clouds of smoke simply swishing out.
A locomotive? Well, what do you want?
Well, I am Rembrandt Van Twerp, the artist.
Yeah?
You see, I've been commissioned to paint a picture of a locomotive roaring along with smoke. Beautiful smoke just pouring from its stack.
Well, can't you borrow a locomotive from one of the railroad companies?
Well, I've tried them all. They only have those diesels and electric locomotives. I've got to find a locomotive with smoke coming out.
Well, I'm sure I don't think we have one. I'm sure we haven't one around here, but I am positive, Rembrandt, that if anybody listening in has such a locomotive, they'll be very happy to lend it to you, just as anyone who has an automobile will gladly lend an ear to Jimmy Wallington.
It's a thrilling sight to see a locomotive roaring along the tracks with its smoke trailing in the air. But when you're driving behind a car with a smoky exhaust, that smoke can mean trouble. For when a car smokes, the chances are it's due to excessive engine wear. Then a costly repair job is the only sure cure. So before your car becomes a smoker, help safeguard your engine against these three sources of wear that so often make cars smoke. Wear due to heat, wear due to cold, and wear due to oil impurities. Change now to insulated Haviland to help avoid the grinding wear of cold starts. For this motor oil flows freely at low temperatures. It stands up too under extreme engine heat, which can break down ordinary oils and accelerate wear. Insulated Haviland is also distilled. Carbon-forming impurities are removed. Remember, your car was never designed to smoke. Change now to insulated Haviland at your Texaco dealer. Help reduce excessive wear in your motor. The Texaco Star Theater continues immediately after a short pause for your station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
WABC, New York.
That was Keep an Eye on Your Heart, played by one rabid music lover. Started to applaud Mr. Goodman, but I put him down there. Mr. Goodman and, gosh, the actors don't know what they're doing. They're applauding each other here. That was Keep an Eye on Your Heart, if possible. I don't know how you do it, but it says here, played by Mr. Goodman and his gas pump Philharmonic. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Mr.
Allen? Who is it?
It is I, Goodman, excusing the interruption.
Well, what's on your mind, Maestro?
40 cents from you I'd like to collect.
Well, I don't owe you 40 cents.
40 cents to Kenny Baker I am lending, against his salary and my good judgment.
Well, I am not advancing any more money out of Kenny's salary to anyone. Now, you go find Mr. Baker and collect from him direct.
To collect 40 cents, I should rent a bloodhound?
I don't care if you hire a retriever.
I should get a Sam Bernard, maybe?
You'll knock a poor little dog down leaning on it like that. Get a Sam Bernard. I don't care if you get a singing Sam. You shouldn't have given Kenny the money in the first place. I have a good mind not to let him in. Well, all right. Come in.
Is this the Texaco Star Theater?
Yes?
I got 2 pounds of sugar here for the Star.
Well, I didn't order.
A fella by the name of Baker.
Oh, of course. For a second, I forgot my place. Ching number 2, boy. I tell you, son, you'll probably find the Star, Mr. Baker, the Star, backstage.
Thanks.
Come in.
I'm from the AMP with the COD.
Now, if you're talking in code, mister...
I got 4 unsqueezed oranges here for Kenny Baker, COD 15 cents.
Well, just follow that other boy, and the sooner the better.
He delivering something to Baker, too?
Yes, sugar.
Thanks, honey.
Now I've been called everything, I guess. Mr. Goodman, I'm afraid that's where your 40 cents has gone. Sugar and oranges.
Who paid for the honey?
The honey was on me. I wonder what Kenny's doing with sugar and oranges.
Mr. Allen?
Oh, yes, Portland?
Have you got a ball of twine?
No, I haven't, and I always have a ball of twine with me, too. I have buck teeth, and I use it for dental floss, but just tonight. Say, what do you want with twine?
Well, I've got to hang up this sign.
What sign?
It's for Kenny's orange juice stand.
What does it say?
If Mr. Allen's jokes are dry, Kenny's orange juice you should try.
There was a pip in the title there, wasn't there? I tripped your tongue up on it. Well, what is this? Does Kenny think he's going to sell orange juice in here while the program's going on?
Hey, Porty.
Yes, Kenny?
Did you hang up my sign?
Well, I haven't any string.
Where do you think you're going to hang that sign, Kenny?
Well, Mr. Goodman is always standing with his back to the audience. If I can rent his back, I can hang it there.
What's this? Goodman's back is getting a commercial?
Never mind that. Kenny, you can't sell orange juice during the program.
Why not? I'm all set. I've got the sugar and 4 oranges.
4 oranges? There are 1,300 people here in the studio. Now, suppose they all want juice.
Don't worry, F.A. I've got a formula.
Oh, I'll answer it. Hello? What? Gosh.
Who is it, Portland?
The water department. They say there's a leak here.
A leak?
There's 150 gallons of water missing.
It's the wrong number. Hang up, Porty.
Kenny, something tells me you know about this H2O.
What's H2O got to do with water?
Portland, tell the water department that we have discovered the leak.
All right.
Tell them it was caused by a little drip. Now, listen, Neptune Baker. Where did you get this formula? 4 oranges and 150 gallons of water.
But that's all a tank could hold, F.A.
What tank?
That big one backstage. You know, the one they used to use for sound effects in the showboat program.
Well, I thought Captain Henry was living in there waiting for a sponsor. You use that one. Well, Kenny, you can't sell that over-diluted bilge for orange juice.
You think I use too much water?
No, you're just 1 orange short, that's all.
Okay, I'll fix it. Mr. Anlick, throw in a tangerine.
Kenny, who is out there?
That's Mr. Anlick, my partner.
Yes, Mr. Anlick is sitting on the edge of the tank, stirring the orange juice with a ladle.
That's no ladle. That's my fife.
Mr. Goodman, please. Why didn't you put the Sam Bernard in there? Now, that's where you... Kenny, how did this fellow Anlick put you up to this mock orange juice business?
Mr. Anlick is an expert on water.
What was that splash?
Gosh, it's Mr. Anlick. He fell in the tank.
In the orange juice?
That's okay. He's wearing water wings.
But your orange juice will taste of Anlick.
Foxy Kenny, a new flavor he's inventing.
Portland, will you go help Mr. Anlick out, please?
Sure, Kenny.
Kenny, how did you get mixed up with this liquid lumpkin Anlick?
Well, I met Mr. Anlick at the Battery.
Yeah?
We were looking out at the ocean. Mr. Anlick was skinning an orange.
Yeah?
He pointed out at the water and said, with this orange and that water, we can make a fortune.
And then what happened?
Then Mr. Anlick asked me how much money I had.
And you told him?
I said I knew where there was 40 cents.
From then on, I, Goodman, was a marked man.
Now, you keep out of this, Maestro. Kenny, you'd better get rid of this Anlick.
Everything's all right, Kenny.
Did you get Mr. Anlick out of the tank, Porty?
Uh-huh. He's back on the job, dripping, but stirring.
What took you so long?
Mr. Anlick was diving for a cigar.
Well, the minute Anlick is dry, he's getting out of
Please,
here.
F.A., Mr. Anlick is very sensitive.
I don't care if Mr. Anlick...
Mr. Anlick is in again.
And it's your fault, F.A.
Oh, I better help him out again.
What is Anlick doing again? Trying to commit citrus suicide? Kenny, you will never sell a glass of that stuff after what people have just heard.
But Mr. Anlick says if we get one stand started, we can float alone.
Anlick already is floating alone. In the orange juice.
How do you know? He didn't get a laugh with two sentences, so he breaks the sentences up and gets laughed.
No, I mean float alone in the bank.
Oh.
The bank, he says. My brother-in-law used to work in a bank.
What happened?
What always happens. Again, they caught him.
I should have known.
Mr. Anlick is out again, Kenny.
How are things going?
Oh, fine. Mr. Anlick is wheeling the tank outside to chill the orange juice.
Oh, boy, we're ready for business. Mr. Goodman, I have great news for you.
I'll settle for 30 cents.
Because you loaned me the money to get started at only 8%, I'm going to show you my appreciation.
I'll settle for 20 cents.
What are you going to do for Mr. Goodman, Kenny?
I'm going to let Mr. Goodman drink the first glass of Baker Anlick orange juice free of charge.
I'll settle for a bromo seltzer.
I'll be right back.
Look, if you drink that orange juice, when he talks with a dialect, he speaks straight. You see, that's what it is. Maestro, if you drink that orange juice, Maestro, you will settle for the Mayo Clinic.
It can't be so bad, Mr. Goodman. After all, it has 4 oranges and sugar.
And 150 gallons of water.
And Anlick. Delicious.
I'm going to put a stop to this thing.
F.A., have you got an ice pick?
What happened out there?
The orange juice froze.
Well, let Mr. Anlick worry about it.
He is worrying. He's frozen in it.
What?
Up to his neck. Is Mr. Anlick in solid?
Not with me, he isn't. And now that your assets are frozen, Kenny, you're out of business. You'd better forget the whole thing.
Well, all right, F.A. Here's your 40 cents back again, Mr. Goodman.
Kenny, where did you get that 40 cents?
From 4 kids outside. I'm charging them 10 cents apiece to play hockey on the orange juice.
Did Mr. Anlick okay the deal?
He's too busy. The kids are using his head for a puck.
For the first time in his life, Anlick is using his head.
Now, wait a minute. You can't say that about my ex-partner. Mr. Anlick's dearer to me than my own brother.
Gee, Kenny, your own brother?
My own brother. That's for me. Come in. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Kenny.
Joe, are you dearer to me than Mr. Anlick?
No.
So long, Joe.
So long, Kenny.
That was your own brother.
That's funny.
What's funny?
I haven't got a brother.
Well, this is a fine time to bring it up. Now go ahead and sing your song.
Oh, I just remembered, Mr. Allen.
What?
I've got a sister.
Oh, now look, Kenny.
I should have said Mr. Anlick is dearer to me than my own sister.
Your own sister?
My own sister. Come in. Hello, Mabel.
Hello.
Mabel, are you as dear to me as Mr. Anlick?
No.
So long, Mabel.
So long.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Kenny Baker's own sister. And now, Kenny...
But, Mr. Allen, my sister is a blonde.
Mr. Goodman, will you please stop the
Her
music?
name isn't Mabel. It's Yvonne.
Mr. Goodman, will you start your hurdy-gurdy outfit, please?
At Montmartre, near Paris, where I life is gay and free. A bright and airy dance you will always see. I'm French as French can be, and it is plain to see. I love romance and glee, and they're always free. Girls wink and dance like toys, throwing kisses to the boys. Glide and whirl just like bouquets. They are free from all regrets. As for the happy crowd, they all sing la la la, dancing, whirling all night long. They sing this happy song. La 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 la. Come in, my friends, and see our dancing in Paris. La 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 la. For life is gay, so sing and dance la la la. La 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 la. Come in, my friends, and see our dancing in Paris. La 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 la. For life is gay, so sing and dance la la la. La la la. Dancing in Paris. La 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 la. For life is gay, so sing and dance la 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 la. La 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 la. Come in, my friends, and see our dancing in Paris. La 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 la. For life is gay, so sing and dance la la la.
Just completed a Neapolitan medley. And now our special quiz program, ladies and gentlemen, Fake It or Believe It. And here's our first contestant, this young lady right here. What is your name, Miss?
Petunia Sludge.
And your occupation, Miss Sludge?
I work in a freak show. I'm two of the legs of the four-legged girl.
Well, all right, Miss Sludge. Here is your first question. What word of three letters stands for a sluggish, lifeless element?
3 letters, and it stands for a sluggish, lifeless element.
No cueing from the audience, please. Now, come, Miss Sludge. What is the word? A sluggish, lifeless element in 3 letters.
I got it.
Fine. What is it?
Man.
No, Miss Sludge. The word is dud. D-U-D, dud.
What's a dud?
Well, for further details, I refer you to Dr. James Wallington, M.D., Master of Duds. Duds cause a lot of trouble at this time of the year, don't they, Dr. Wallington?
Indeed they do, Dr. Allen. Now is the time of the year when duds, the sluggish, lifeless elements in gasoline, get in their deadliest work. Duds slow up your motor's response in any weather. But when it's cold, when your engine depends on just a few ounces of chilled gasoline in your carburetor, those duds can hold up starting action, can put a serious extra burden on your battery. Now, with Texaco Fire Chief, you can be sure you're not getting duds. They're out, completely removed by an important step in Texaco refining. That's what's behind those speedy Fire Chief starts. It's smooth pickup and fast warm-up. For in Fire Chief, you get only the lively, responsive elements in gasoline. The ones that vaporize quickly, fire evenly, and give full economical power. Try a Texaco dealer and fire chief. There's not a dud in a tank full.
And now the Texaco workshop players. Tonight they take cognizance of the recent cold snap that gripped the country. While severe snowstorms harassed the east and middle west, southern areas gloated over tropical weather it was enjoying. Southern area gloated over. I had too much south in there. I felt the place heat up there. Southern area gloated. Thank you. 3 men from Dixie. Thank you very much. Well, severe snow. You can't read it. I defy anybody to read it. While severe snowstorms harassed the east and middle west, southern area gloated over tropical weather it was enjoying. Flashes from the swanky winter resorts all told the same story.
Miami and Beach, enjoying banner season. Mrs. Biddle Diddle has open house.
Palm Beach enjoying banner season. Mrs. Biddle Diddle Biddle has open house.
Bermuda enjoys banner season. Mrs. Biddle Diddle Diddle Biddle has open house.
And so, for the benefit of the plain folks who haven't a biddle to their names, no biddle name, for you in the colder vicinities who are unable to flee Jack Frost and take to a warmer clime, tonight we present a stay-at-home's cruise. Lean back in your lumpy Morris chairs, folks. Forget the wintry wind and the nippy nonce. Join us on an imaginary jaunt to the gayest winter resort of them all, colorful, tropical Havana. Music, Alfredo. Havana, glamorous city of palm trees, coconuts, and eternal sunshine. As our boat, the SS Perfidia, glides into the picturesque harbor, a lady tourist turns to the captain and says,
"Is this the harbor, Captain?"
See, lady, see.
It's the sea, Merwin.
I told you.
As the SS Perfidia docks, and we stop at the customs shed, we find that most of the natives here speak Spanish. Many tourists have difficulty with this foreign tongue. We watched a couple ahead of us as they prepare for the usual customs inspection.
Open up the bags, Harvey. Here comes the inspector.
Okay, Beulah.
Dispense me, senor. Americano?
America. Oh, yeah, we're Americans from New York.
The Bronx.
Don't be so specific, Beulah. We're from New York.
Si, senor. Se hace siempre el camino de tobacco?
Huh?
I guess he means our luggage, Harvey.
Oh, yeah, everything's here, bud.
Se hace siempre el camino de tobacco.
Huh?
Camino de tobacco.
Oh, tobacco.
Si.
He means, are we sneaking in any tobacco?
Tobacco, si, senor.
No, I ain't got none. I don't smoke. I'm a coffee drinker.
Se hace siempre el camino de tobacco.
That's what he said before, Harvey.
This bum's got a one-crack mind.
Se hace siempre el camino de tobacco.
Oh, he's getting mad, Harvey.
Look, fella, we ain't got no tobacco.
Oh, Santa!
Hey, let go of my windbreaker,
Santa Lucia, camino de tobacco. Camino de
Thank
tobacco.
heavens, here's a cop, Harvey.
Si, senora, what is the trouble? What? It's this customs guy, that's what.
He's menacing us in Spanish.
Camino de tobacco.
Yeah. He thinks we're smuggling tobacco, officer. I will find out the trouble. ¿Qué quiere usted decir?
Americanos, Bronx, se hace siempre el camino de tobacco.
Si. The custom man, he see you are from New York. He ask a simple question. About bringing in tobacco? No. He say, in New York, is Tobacco Road still running?
From the customs house, we proceed to the Prado, a main thoroughfare of Havana. The Prado is a gathering place for tourists. English-speaking guides tug at our mess jackets, inviting us to take their tours. One guide grasps us firmly by the nub of our trousers. And so then we decide to sample his jaunt. The tour is just about to leave. Now, okay, folks, the tour is just starting. Keep your eyes peeled and your Kodaks cocked, folks. I'll tell this native chauffeur to give it the gas. Miguel.
Si, senor.
Pronto, El Texaco.
Si, senor.
Now we're off, folks, and to your left you see Havana's waterfront. Deep-sea fishing is the second largest industry in Cuba.
What's the first?
Digging bait. That sailboat yonder is a fishing party.
Don't they use hooks and lines, guide?
No, lady. The natives use only their native pipes. Listen.
Hey, those are pitch pipes, ain't they?
That's right.
What kind of fish can they catch with pitch pipes?
Tuna, lady.
Look, guide. What are those native boys diving for?
They're diving for money, Bud.
But they keep coming up with those slips of white paper.
Things is tough. They're diving for IOU. Now, over on your right, you see them beautiful trees. At this time of year, you can even hear the trees whispering in the breeze. Listen.
March 7th.
April 1st.
June 14th.
What kind of trees are those, guide?
Them are date palms making their dates, mister. This is their making season. Now, straight ahead in that river, folks, is one of Havana's famous hat-making plants. 20 natives are busy making straw hats.
I say, where is everybody? All I can see is the river.
Where did you get on, mister? The natives weave them Panama hats right in the river, brother. They're all busy right now, working underwater. I'll greet them. Hi, boys. And now, folks, in concluding with our tour, we come to the Capitol building in the heart of Havana, modeled after the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. The door of the Capitol is open. You can hear the Parliament in session.
I make motion 8 billion centimos ancien oro.
I second the motion. 8 billion centimos ancien oro.
The bill is carried 8 billion centimos ancien oro.
8 billion? Are they voting on a project, guide?
No, lady. 8 billion centimos is 15 cents.
What is that ancien oro?
Old gold. Parliament is sending out for cigarettes. Back from our sightseeing tour, we join a small party about to take a trip through one of Havana's famous sugar plantations. As we enter the grounds, we hear the native sugar billies singing as they work in the fields. We stop to listen to the sugar billies.
Hand me down my sugar cane. Oh, hand me down my sugar cane. You can keep your sodium, keep your beet, keep your glucose, though it's sweet. Just hand me down my sugar. Hand me down my sugar. Hand me down my sugar.
We hand the sugar billies down their sugar cane to shut them up and turn to gaze in sticky awe at the great refining plant. We spend a pleasant hour watching the sugar granulators granulating and the sugar lumpers lumping. And we leave the plantation just as the sugar auctioneer mounts his stand to start calling his popular sugar auctioneer's chant.
Sweet sugar, sold its saccharine.
And so, leaving the sugar plantation with sweet memories, we plod our weary way back to town. As the fiery tropical sun plops into the placid briny slop, we scurry to the cattle boat that waits to bring us back over the billowy sea. Standing on the gangplank with our porter, we turn for a fond last look at the waving date trees. But near at hand, we notice 2 waving palms, and a voice from above these palms cries out,
Cheapskate old Americano, no tip old porter, old doggone.
And with the red cap fuming in the sunset, we say buenas, what's this, and funnel tront mañana to dear old Havana. And now for Mr. Larry Elliott, a message of great importance to the music lovers of this entire Western Hemisphere.
This Saturday afternoon, 2 of the most popular gems of the opera world, Pagliacci and Cavalleria Rusticana, will both be broadcast in the Metropolitan Opera House in New York. In the cast, you will hear 2 young American-born winners of the Sherwin-Williams Metropolitan Auditions of the Year, Anna Cascas and Leonard Warren. Pagliacci and Cavalleria Rusticana
will be the 9th Metropolitan Opera Saturday Matinee, sponsored by the Texas Company, over another network of 211 stations reaching the entire Western Hemisphere. During intermissions, there will be the Opera Question Forum with Milton Cross and a curtain talk on our American way of living by Mrs. Sadie Orr Dunbar, President of the General Federation of Women's Clubs.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight. And don't forget, join the all-American fight against infantile paralysis. Support the President's birthday celebration in your community. Give a dime or a dollar, but give. This is Fred Allen saying good night for the more than 45,000 Texaco dealers from coast to coast. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Texaco Star Theater. The more than 45,000 Texaco dealers from coast to coast welcome you to an hour of mirth and melody. With our star comedian, Fred Allen, Kenny Baker and Portland Hoffa. Our guest, Mr. Norman Gray, the electric shaver tester. The Martins and Al Goodman's orchestra. It's Texaco time.
Caught in the rain and found ourselves on the doorstep of number 10 Lullaby Lane. And wasn't it a lucky thing? The man came out to explain that we were just the right people for number 10 Lullaby Lane. He told us we could move right in if we would sign the lease. But when we said we weren't wed, he said he was also the justice of the peace. So if you're in the neighborhood and you get caught in the rain, you'll find us waiting to greet you at number 10 Lullaby Lane.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you that Wednesday night merrymaker.
Come on, make it fast, Jimmy.
That tickler of America's funny bone.
We've got a long show, Jimmy.
Everybody's favorite.
Just a minute, Mr. Wallington. All right, come in.
Pardon me, brother. I got to test this mic. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof, hello, Max. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof, hello, Max.
Just a minute, mister. We're on the air here.
Don't be too sure, bud. That's what I'm here to find out. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof, hello, Max.
Say, who are you?
Look, pal, I happen to be assistant chief technician of this network.
Oh, so?
So I got to make sure you're on the air, don't I? If you're not on the air, it looks bad for the network.
Well, but...
So I'm checking if you're on the air. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof, hello, Max.
Now, Joe, just wait a minute. Just tell me one thing. How can you tell by woofing and yelling, hello, Max, if I am on the air?
Why, it's simple. Out in Jersey, on the 16th floor of our transmitter tower, sits Max.
And who is Max?
Well, Max is only the chief technician of the whole network, that's all.
Oh.
Yeah, Max is sitting in front of a radio. If he hears me, you're on the air.
Well, how can you tell if Max hears you?
Max will ring up and tell me.
Oh.
Then you go right ahead. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Say, Fred, while we're waiting for Max's call, do you mind if I finish introducing you? I've got to get away.
Oh, go right ahead, Jimmy. It's all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is.
Oh. That's for me. Hello, Max. Oh, you didn't, huh? Okay, I'll try again. Huh? The last race? It was Little Caporis by 4 lengths. No, I don't know what he paid. So long, Max.
That was Max, huh?
Yeah, he didn't hear me.
I didn't hear you.
1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Wait, just a minute. My knowledge of radio mechanics may be limited, but there must be another way of finding out whether or not we are on the air. Now, can't we just call up Jack Benny's writers?
Brother, you're on the air when Max says you are.
Oh, and until then?
It's 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Now, wait, chum, look. Not 2 minutes ago, 3 vice presidents gave me their personal signals. 4 technicians threw in switches. 5 lights went on saying we are on the air.
Look, pal, we're not getting nowhere. It's too hot in here to argue. It's too cold outside to picket. So? 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Hi, fellas. What's going on?
What isn't going on, Kenny?
Woof, woof. Hello, Max. Woof, woof.
Hey, who's this guy with the dog talk?
He's a big technician. He's trying to find out if we're on the air.
Oh. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max. Oh, I'll get it. Hello, Max. Oh, you still can't hear, huh?
Has he got his radio plugged in?
Quiet, Stope. No, not you, Max. Some jerk here just asked if you... He just asked if you got your radio plugged in. Oh. Well, plug it in, Max. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Now, pardon me, Edison. Now, look, can't you just call up somebody outside who has a radio and ask them if they can hear us?
Listen, Dope. Max is a graduate of 5 technical institutes.
Yeah?
15 years Max has been studying frequency modulation. 12 diplomas Max has got for majoring in short waves.
So what?
So you want to take a layman's word against Max's? Oh, I'm laughing.
But now...
Please. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Oh, this is it. Hello, Max. Oh, you still can't hear, huh? Well, look, maybe an N52FDX shorted in the VIM condenser, huh?
Has he got his radio turned on?
Look, buddy. Hey, Max, that lunk here just said... Hey, Max, you know that little dial under the window of your radio? Yeah, the window with the numbers of the stations on it. Yeah, well, on one side of the dial it says off, and on the other side it says on. Now, to which side is it pointing? Oh. Well, turn it to on. Yeah, go ahead, Max. Hey, Max, what are you yelling about? Stop being so jumpy. When you turn the dial, a light always goes on in the window. Sure. Okay, here I go again. Poor Max.
Yeah,
The responsibility of the job is ruining his nerves. 1, 2, 3, woof, woof. Hello, Max.
Well, thank heaven Marconi didn't live to see this.
This is it for dough. Hello, Max. You heard it? Great work, Max. See you later.
Well?
You're on the air.
It's about time. Go ahead, Mr. Wallington.
And here he is, Fred Allen in person.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And now, before anybody else can bust in here and say 1, 2, 3, woof, woof, hello, Max, we turn to a brief resume of the latest news of the week. The Texaco News presents a few brisk highlights from the world of news. Bear Mountain, New York, a peculiar animal, member of the deer family, is added to the zoological collection at Trailside Museum in Bear Mountain Park. Unusual quadruped, found grazing at roadside, baffles zoo curator and New York mammal authorities who have been asked to identify this ruminant freak. Texaco News interviews the ranger who found this forest monstrosity to get the real species lowdown for all America. Presenting Mr. Buford Hike. Now, just what is your job, Buford?
I'm a forest ranger ranging out at Bear Mountain.
Oh, I see. Well, what about this unusual animal you caught up there, Buford?
Never seen a critter like it.
You don't say. Well, can you describe it for us?
No living man can describe that nature's mess.
Well, you can give us an idea. What was it like?
Well, sir, from a distance, it looked like a jumbo mouse.
A jumbo mouse? Huh?
Yep, it was albino-colored with dirty brown spots on it.
Yeah.
Looked like somebody had shot at it with a water pistol full of peanut butter and missed.
That was from a distance. Well, how did it look close to?
The head was that of a stunted otter.
A stunted otter?
Mm-hmm. Out of the forehead hung 2 caribou ears, and it had a short beaver neck with no Adam's apple.
Yeah?
And the body was a cross between a big mongoose and a bandicoot.
Well, how about the legs?
Well, the darn thing had 3 antelope legs. And the 4th leg was a puma paw.
A puma paw?
Yeah, and hanging down in the back was no tail.
What? That was hanging down in the back, no tail, noticeably, huh? Well, what did you do when you had caught it, Buford?
I took it straight off to the zoo and set it down in front of the curator.
And what was the curator's reaction?
He took one look at the thing, jumped up, and said, "The man who caught that is a liar."
Louisville, Illinois. Wife of Clay County farmer presents proud father with twins weighing 22 pounds. Case called unique in authenticated medical annals arouses nationwide interest. Texaco News interviews a neighbor of the happy mother to check on these giant twins. Presenting Mrs. Wilkie Snipe. You know about the twins, Mrs. Snipe?
Yep, they sure are bulky babies, all right.
Bulky, are they? You've actually seen them?
I was there when the stork come.
And the twins weighed 22 pounds?
Yep, the stork had 4 eagles helping him. And a sparrow.
A sparrow?
The sparrow was carrying the safety pins.
Oh, I see. Beaumont, Texas. Innovation in boat launching technique proves success at local shipyards. New cargo boat, the Cape Lookout, is launched with bananas instead of the customary ship grease. Texaco News grills Maritime Authority to learn if the banana is to revolutionize all future launchings. Meet Captain Squall.
Heave-ho, mates.
Well, you can drop your anchor any place, Captain.
Aye, matey, I will.
I see a cold night. You came out with a heavy anchor on tonight. Well, tell me, Captain, do you think the banana will replace the outmoded grease at ship launchings?
Lost my boom if the banana ain't put some skids on the grease for good.
Mm-hmm. Mighty slippery even to talk about it, isn't it? How did bananas work out when you launched the Cape Lookout at Beaumont last week?
Well, heave to, and I'll tell you.
Fine, I shall.
We took 7,000 pounds of ripe, juicy bananas.
Yeah?
We squished them up and spread this goo all over the hull.
Yeah?
As soon as the boat was bananaed, well gooed from prow to stern, I give the signal.
And?
The 400 men who was holding the boat let go. That's all, brother.
This, yes, that was about all right there, wasn't it? You're very bad at forecasting, though. That was all. You were right enough about that. Well, the banana is making a big difference in Beaumont shipyards, I imagine.
Yes, sir. When you see a man in Beaumont with a banana today,
yeah,
nobody knows if he's going out to lunch or out to launch.
New York City, New York. The latest smash hit show to open on Broadway is Morse Hart's musical play starring Miss Gertrude Lawrence called Lady in the Dark. Critics strain at their adjectives, praising show and individual performances. And showmen predict Lady in the Dark will run a year. Texaco News brings you a digest version of this new smash hit show, Lady in the Dark. Lady in the Dark.
Oh, Mr. Bascom, really?
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Baker comes from out of the nowhere into your ear, and the title of Kenny's song is based on a remark Gilbert made the first time he met Sullivan. Gilbert said, "We could make such beautiful music together," and they did.
Such beautiful music together. We could sing the loveliest love songs together. Our hearts beat in tempo, the sound of our voices ring, the touch of our hands makes us sing. The touch of our lips will be magic. Lovely chords resound from the blend of a few notes. You and I and love are the blending of true notes, no blue notes. Say the words that I long for. Let them be the theme of our song, for we could make such beautiful music together. We don't need a singing violin to thrill us. We don't need a thrumming of a heartbeat song. Neath the stars, the beauty of the night will fill us. We can make a symphony, that's all our own. Lovely chords resound from the blend of a few notes. You and I and love are the blending of true notes, no blue notes. Say the words that I long for. Let them be the theme of our song, for we could make such beautiful music together.
That was exceptionally well done, Kenny. Very, very well done.
Oh, say, Mr. Allen, I sing that good enough to get a sled?
What do you mean, a sled?
Well, Dennis Day is going to get a sled. Jack Benny's going to give him one.
Oh, I don't believe it.
All right, look at this letter I just got from Dennis. Read what it says right down there at the bottom.
Mr. Benny likes my singing so much, he's going to give me a present. He has promised me that the next time it snows in Hollywood, he will get an old grapefruit crate and build me a sled.
Boy, is that generosity.
It is in a mild form, yes. But all right, Kenny, I refuse to be outdone. If it snows in Hollywood, and if Mr. Benny builds Dennis a grapefruit crate sled, I personally will buy you the largest size flexible flyer that's made.
Gee, a flexible flyer.
Uh-huh.
That's a whole lot better than a grapefruit crate.
Oh, yes, Kenny. Even I know that. On this program, we appreciate the importance of flexibility. And that's simply because we have Larry Elliott here to constantly point it out to us. Would you mind just pointing once again, Larry?
Be glad to, Fred. People who drive a car north of the freezing line, and that takes in most of the country this time of year, are called upon for driving skill that's flexible enough to match snow, ice, and uncertain weather conditions. And that sort of driving demands flexible power from a gasoline, too. The kind of surging, constant, yet flexible power supplied by Sky Chief, Texaco's different premium gasoline. Yes, that's what you really want for winter driving. Then you know you're in control, whether you're crawling through traffic at 4 miles or cruising the highway at 40. That feeling of Sky Chief power underfoot adds to your confidence. It takes hold quickly, gets you rolling fast. Your car responds to your every demand quietly and smoothly. Fly the highways with Sky Chief, your Texaco dealer's premium gasoline for those who want the best.
Hello, Goodman. You know how the maestro only bends over a little way to take a bow? He's got one of those neckties, four in hand, that hooks on in the front, and too much bending, the Adam's apple presses against the thing and the tie comes off. Be very careful. So excuse a mild bow from the maestro, who has just completed dark eyes from his optical condition of the same name. And now, ladies...
Mr. Allen!
Oh, hello, Portland.
Can we use your microphone a minute?
We?
Yes, there's a lady outside, and she's all unstrung.
Well, string her and bring her in.
You can come in, miss.
Thank you.
Well, what is it you want, madam?
I have got to get to a microphone. It is urgent.
Urgent?
I have a message that will turn radio into a hive of futility.
Well,
My message will cause every swing band in radio to give itself up.
No kidding.
My message will force every radio tenor to quit.
And you want to use my microphone for this devastating announcement?
If I may.
All right. Just stay there, madam. I shall introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies... Quiet, please. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by for a very important message. Go ahead, madam.
I have just had a henna rinse.
That is all?
That is all.
You say every swing band will give itself up, every radio tenor will have to quit because you have had a henna rinse? Who are you, lady?
I was formerly Jeannie with the light brown hair.
Funny, I didn't recognize her. Well, it's most everybody knows Jeannie by ear. You don't know her when you see her. But now look, Portland, the next time you come in here, I suggest that you emulate the bee.
The bee?
Yes, you know when the bee goes anyplace, he leaves his wax outside. Now you keep bringing these wax in here.
What's a wax?
Well, ask your mother. She raised enough of them. You know there are more wax in your family than there are in a spanking? Do you know how many wax there are in a spanking?
Nobody knows. You can't see to count them.
Why can't you?
Because your back is always turned.
Goodbye, Portland.
Oh, am I going?
Yes, you are. But before you go, introduce our guest, the Major Bowes Amateur of the Month, will you?
But Major Bowes week is next week.
Major Bowes? Oh, that's right. So it is. Well, who is our guest tonight?
He's the most shaved man in the world.
The most shaved?
Yes. He shaves 20 times a day, and yet he's never completely shaved.
Well, who is this hirsute phenomenon, Portland?
He's the head electric shaver tester for the Schick Shaver Company, Mr. Norman Gray.
Well, good evening, Mr. Gray.
Good evening, Fred.
Portland tells me, Mr. Gray, that you, from the neck up, are the official proving ground for the Schick Shaver Company.
That's right, Fred.
And your job demands that you keep shaving all day long?
Yes, Fred. I test 3 different sorts of electric shavers. The present Schick models, experimental new models, and the models that our competitors are putting out.
Your competitors, you test those too. Well, I guess you're pretty happy after testing a competitor shaver if you can rush into the front office with part of your jowl gone and shout hooray at gouges, unquote. But tell me, Mr. Gray, I don't remember seeing the electric shaver invented in Edison the Boy or Edison the Man. Did Don Amici work it out in some other picture, did he?
No, Fred. Colonel Schick invented the electric shaver back in 1930.
Well, how come? Did Colonel Schick have a heavy beard and a lot of old kilowatts he didn't know what to do with?
No. Colonel Schick was up in Alaska with the U.S. Army. It was too cold to shave with soap and water, so the colonel thought a dry shave would solve the problem. He worked on the idea and finally brought out the first electric shaver.
Proving once again that necessity is the you know of the what's this. Well, what is the principle? What is the principle of the chop tractor, Mr. Gray?
It's quite simple, Fred. The electric shaver consists of 2 slotted sheets of steel, one fixed and one moving.
Well, how is the potential goatee guillotine?
As the shaver moves along the face, the hairs are guided into tiny slots, where they are sheared off by the inside shearing head that moves back and forth.
Well, that accounts for the subdued humming, then, the obligato most shavers give out with each once over lightly.
Yes. It's caused by the speed of the machine. The inside shearing head makes more than 14,000 cutting motions a minute.
14,000. Why, that's almost as fast as my scenes were cut out of a certain moving picture. By a certain semi-bald comedian who stole into the studio and cut by taper light at midnight, they tell me. But excuse me, Mr. Gray, in a discussion that concerns hair, this party's name, of course, is entirely out of place.
I understand.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Now tell me, how long has your face been giving its all to these chin landscapers?
I've been doing this work for 6 years.
Well, why has your face been singled out for testing? Are you just razorgenic? Have your bristles got the old AC and DC appeal or something?
No, my job is testing shavers, Fred. I have to use somebody's face, and my face is the handiest.
Well, suppose now, for example, you have a busy day and you use up your own face completely. Let's say that you have shaved it as smooth as a seal's hip. Now, how do you get some new, fresh set of whiskers in a hurry? Do you send out an SOS for Paul Muni, or whom do you get?
There are 12 assistant engineers whose faces I use occasionally.
Oh, they always have a little fuzz on tap, huh?
Yes, these men are all instructed to come to work unshaven, Fred.
Well, tell me, how many shavers do you test in a day?
I may have to shave 20 times during the day.
Gosh, I don't know how you do it. Unless you come to work with a long face.
That isn't necessary, Fred. I never shave my entire face at one time. I only use a small square patch for each test.
In other words, you are shaving constantly from morning to night, and yet you are never completely shaved.
That's right.
Well, yours is the only life I know of where it's a case of hair today and hair tomorrow, too, Mr. Gray. But about your 12 fur-bearing assistants, do you use their faces every day or only when your own chin fodder is getting low?
I use them all the time, Fred. My face is useless for some experiments.
Why is that?
Well, all beards and all skins aren't alike, and we must be sure that our shavers are suited to all beards. I have the faces I work on classified into many types.
Well, would you say that my face fitted into any of your categories, Mr. Gray? Don't look at all of it. It'll do you in.
Yes, at a glance, I should say that your skin is the sensitive type.
Well, it may look sensitive, but after 9 years in radio, Mr. Gray, I have the skin of a water buffalo, which can be seen only at low tide, incidentally, if you want to check out. Well, it's been nice of you to stop in by tonight and tell us how we can keep chick and span and to give us the lowdown on your almost unique occupation. I guess you and Mickey Rooney are the only ones who can boast of similar careers.
I don't see the connection, Fred.
Well, Mickey Rooney also makes a good living, Mr. Gray, and like you, Mickey is nothing but a perennial shaver.
Wow. Good night, Fred.
Good night, and thank you, Mr. Norman Sir. And now the Martins rehearse a song they're preparing for all folks who are receiving their income tax blanks these days. The number is Cheer Up.
Don't fret because of rain, you'll get sunshine just the same. Cheer up, for the best is yet to come. You missed the boat today, there's another on the way. Cheer up, for the best is yet to come. Just sing a happy song, someone may come along. Heads up, can't you see that silver lining shining? You're not a millionaire, but you've got a smile to share. Cheer up, what's the use of being glum? So won't you cheer up, the best is yet to. Thieves on thieves on a stone, thieves on thieves on a in of the debt. The people don't hurry, they live a century right through. La la la, they have an antidote for worry. I'll pass the secret on to you. Don't fret, because of rain you get sunshine just the same. Cheer up, cheer up, cheer up, cheer up. The best is yet to come. You missed the boat today, there's another one on the way. Cheer up, cheer up. The best is yet to come. Just sing a happy song, someone may come along. Heads up.
ya?
Can't you see that silver lining shining? You're not a millionaire, but you've got a smile to share. Cheer up, what's the use of being glum? So won't you cheer up, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Cheer up, cheer up, cheer up.
Excuse me, Mr. Allen. May I interrupt?
Yeah?
Has anybody here seen anything of a locomotive? It's a large locomotive with clouds of smoke simply swishing out.
Locomotive, I haven't, Jimmy. You know?
Well,
what do you want with the locomotive,
You
friend?
see, I am Rembrandt Van Twert, the artist.
You volunteer this information, do you?
Yes, it's my name.
Yes?
And I have been commissioned to paint a picture of a locomotive roaring along with smoke. Beautiful smoke just pouring from its stack.
Well, can't you put the bite on one of the railroad companies for an old locomotive they might let you have with smoke coming out rampant?
Well, yes, but I've tried them all. You see, the only ones they have are diesels and electric locomotives.
Uh-huh.
I've got to find a locomotive with smoke coming out.
Well, I don't think we can help you on the premises. If there was an old Baldwin in here, but we put a toupee on it and got it out some months ago. But I tell you, Rembrandt, I'm sure if anybody listening in has such a locomotive, this I am saying in all sincerity, they will be glad to lend it to you, Rembrandt, just as anyone who has an automobile will be glad to lend an ear to Jimmy Wallington.
It's a thrilling sight to see a locomotive roaring along the tracks with its smoke trailing in the air. But when you're driving behind a car with a smoky exhaust, that smoke can mean trouble. For when a car smokes, the chances are it's due to excessive engine wear. Then a costly repair job is the only sure cure. So before your car becomes a smoker, help safeguard your engine against these three sources of wear that so often make cars smoke. Wear due to heat, wear due to cold, and wear due to oil impurities. Change now to insulated Haviland to help avoid the grinding wear of cold starts. For this motor oil flows freely at low temperatures. It stands up too under extreme engine heat, which can break down ordinary oils and accelerate wear. Insulated Haviland is also distilled. Carbon-forming impurities are removed. Remember, your car was never designed to smoke. Change now to insulated Haviland at your Texaco dealer. Help reduce excessive wear in your motor. The Texaco Star Theater continues immediately after a short pause for your station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Was Keep an Eye on Your Heart, played by Mr. Goodman and his gas pump philharmonic, 15 men named Robert Welch. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Mr. Allen.
Who is it?
It is I, Goodman, excusing the interruption.
Well, what's on your mind, Maestro?
40 cents from you I would like to collect.
Well, I don't owe you 40 cents.
40 cents to Kenny Baker I am lending, against his salary and my good judgment.
Well, I am not advancing any more money out of Kenny's salary. 15 cents for bubble gum yesterday, 12 cents for good humor the day before. Now, you go find Mr. Baker and collect from him direct.
To collect 40 cents, I should rent a bloodhound?
I don't care if you rent an old used retriever.
I should get a Sam Bernard, maybe?
You can get Singing Sam for all I care. You can put a leash on him and run around with him. You shouldn't have given Kenny the money in the first place. Oh, what's this? Come in.
Is this the Texaco Star Theater?
Yes?
I got 2 pounds of sugar here for the Star.
Well, I didn't order.
A fella by the name of Baker.
Oh, of course. For a second, but only for a second, I forgot my place. You will probably find the Star, Mr. Baker, backstage.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Come in.
I'm from the AMP with a COD.
If you're talking in code, mister...
I got 4 unsqueezed oranges here for Kenny Baker. COD 15 cents.
Well, just follow the other buxom fellow, and the sooner the better.
He delivering something to Baker, too?
Yes, sugar.
Thanks, honey.
Well, now I have been called everything. Mr. Goodman, I'm afraid that's where your 40 cents went, sugar and oranges.
Who paid for the honey?
The honey was on me. I'll scrape it off later. I wonder what Kenny is doing with sugar and oranges.
Mr. Allen?
Oh, yes, Portland.
Have you got a ball of twine?
No, isn't that strange? Now, I always have a ball of twine with me. I have buck teeth, and I use twine for dental floss, but just tonight, I didn't eat anything all night. I said I won't need my twine. I left it home in my old claw hammer, swallowtail coat, which I always wear weeks when we're not on the air. You see, I haven't worn it for some time. Well, tell me, what is it you want with twine?
Well, I've got to hang up the sign.
What sign?
It's for Kenny's orange juice stand.
What does it say? What does that say?
If Mr. Allen's jokes are dry, Kenny's orange juice you should try.
Well, does Kenny think he's going to sell orange juice right here in the studio while the program is going on?
Hey, Porty.
Yes, Kenny?
Did you hang up my sign?
I haven't any string.
Where do you think you're going to hang that sign, Kenny?
Well, Mr. Goodman is always standing with his back to the audience. If I can rent his back, I can hang it there.
What's this? Goodman's back is getting a commercial?
Never mind that. Kenny, you can't sell orange juice during the program.
Why not? I'm all set. I've got the sugar and 4 oranges.
4 oranges? Why, there are 1,300 people here in the studio now. Suppose they all want juice.
Oh, don't worry, F.A. I've got a formula.
Yeah?
Oh, I'll answer it. Hello? What? Gosh.
Who is it, Portland?
The water department. They say there's a leak here.
A leak?
There's 150 gallons of water missing.
It's the wrong number. Hang up, Porty.
Kenny, something tells me you know about this H2O.
What's H2O got to do with water?
Portland, tell the water department that we have discovered the leak.
All right.
Tell them it was caused by a little drip. Now, listen, Chief Running Tap Baker, a nephew of Old Running Water, a well-known Indian, who lived in Joe Miller's joke book for 200 years, they tell. Tell me, where did you get this formula of 4 oranges and 150 gallons of water?
But that's all a tank would hold, F.A.
Tank? What tank?
That big one backstage. You know, the one they used to use for sound effects on the Showboat program.
I thought Captain Henry was living in that waiting for a sponsor. Did he get out of there? Look, Kenny, you can't sell that over-diluted bilge for orange juice.
Do you think I use too much water?
No, you're just 1 orange short.
Okay, I'll fix it. Mr. Analik, throw in a tangerine.
Kenny, who is that out there?
That's Mr. Analik, my partner.
Mr. Analik is sitting on the edge of the tank, stirring the orange juice with a ladle.
That's no ladle, that's my fife.
Mr. Goodman, if you are auditioning material for a spot announcement comedian that you've got, try other places. Don't butt in here with this inferior stuff. Kenny, how did this fellow Analik put you up to this mock orange juice business?
Mr. Analik is an expert on water.
Say, what was that splash?
Gosh, it's Mr. Analik. He fell in a tank.
In the orange juice?
It's okay. He's wearing water wings.
But your orange juice will taste of Analik.
Foxy Kenny, a new flavor he's inventing.
Porty, will you go help Mr. Analik out, please?
Sure, Kenny.
Kenny, how did you get mixed up with this limpid lumpkin Analik?
Well, I met Mr. Analik on the battery.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking out at the ocean. Mr. Analik was skinning an orange. He pointed at the water and said, with this orange and that water, we can make a fortune.
Then what happened?
Then Mr. Analik asked me how much money I had.
And you told him?
I said I knew where there was 40 cents.
From then on, I, Goodman, was a marked man.
You please keep out of this, Maestro. Kenny, you'd better get rid of this Analik.
Everything is all right, Kenny.
Did you get Mr. Analik out of the tank, Porty?
Uh-huh. He's back on the job, dripping but stirring.
What took you so long?
Mr. Annalik was diving for a cigar.
The minute Annalik is dry, you get him out of
Oh,
here.
now, please, F.A., Mr. Annalik is very, very sensitive.
I don't care if Mr. Annalik...
Mr. Annalik is in again.
And it's your fault, F.A.
Oh, I'd better help him out again.
What is Annalik doing? Trying to commit citrus suicide? Kenny, you'll never sell a glass of that stuff now after what people have heard.
But Mr. Annalik says if we get one stand started, we can float alone.
Annalik already is floating alone. In the orange juice.
No, I mean float alone from the bank.
The bank, he says. My brother-in-law used to work in a bank.
What happened?
What always happens? Again, they caught him.
Mr. Annalik is out again, Kenny.
How are things going?
Fine. Mr. Annalik is wheeling the tank outside to chill the orange juice.
Oh, boy, we're ready for business. Mr. Goodman, I have great news for you.
I'll settle for 30 cents.
Because you loaned me the money to get started at only 8%, I'm going to show you my appreciation.
I'll settle for 20 cents.
What are you going to do for Mr. Goodman, Kenny?
I'm going to let Mr. Goodman drink the first glass of Baker Annalik orange juices free of charge.
I'll settle for a bromo seltzer.
I'll be right back.
Say, if you drink that orange juice, Maestro, you'll settle for the Mayo Clinic.
Oh, it can't be bad, Mr. Goodman. After all, it has 4 oranges and sugar.
And 150 gallons of water.
And Annalik, delicious.
Look, I'm going to put a stop to this thing before it...
Say, F.A., have you got an ice pick?
What do you mean running in here? What happened?
Well, the orange juice froze.
Well, let Mr. Annalik worry about that.
He is worrying. He's frozen in it.
What?
Up to his neck. Is Mr. Annalik in solid?
Not with me, he isn't. And now that your assets are frozen, Kenny, you're out of business. You better forget the whole thing.
Well, all right, F.A. Here's your 40 cents back, Mr. Goodman.
Kenny, where did you get that 40 cents?
From 4 kids outside. I'm charging them 10 cents apiece to play hockey on the orange juice.
Did Mr. Annalik okay the deal?
He was too busy. The kids are using his head for a puck.
For the first time in his life, Annalik is using his head.
Oh, you can't say that about my ex-partner. Mr. Annalik's dearer to me than my own brother.
Gee, Kenny, your own brother?
My own brother. That's for me. Come in. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Kenny.
Joe, are you dearer to me than Mr. Annalik?
No.
So long, Joe.
So long, Kenny.
That was your own brother?
That's funny.
What's funny?
I haven't got a brother.
Well, this is a fine time to start thinking about it. We could have saved 20 seconds there. Go ahead now and sing your song.
I just remembered, Mr. Allen.
What?
I've got a sister.
Oh, now look.
I should have said Mr. Annalik is dearer to me than my own sister.
Your own sister?
My own sister. Come in. Hello, Mabel.
Hello.
Mabel, are you as dear to me as Mr. Annalik?
No.
So long, Mabel.
So long.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Kenny Baker's own sister. And now...
But, Mr. Allen, my sister is a blonde.
Mr. Goodman, please start the
And her
music.
name isn't Mabel, it's Yvonne.
Mr. Goodman, will you please start your hurdy-gurdy outfit?
At Montmartre near Paris, where life is gay and free, a bright and airy dance you will always see. I'm French as French can be, and it is plain to see. I love romance and glee, and they're always free. Girls wink and dance like toys, throwing kisses to the boys, glide and whirl just like coquettes. They are free from all regrets. As for the happy crowd, they all sing fa-la-la, dancing, whirling all night long. They sing this happy song. Come in, my friends, and see our dancing in Paris. La 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 la. For life is gay, so sing and dance for la la la. La 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 la. Come in, my friends, and see our dancing in Paris. La 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 la. For life is gay, so sing and dance for la la la. La 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 la. Come o'er the ocean blue, moonlight is shining, and with its silvery light, stray clouds is lining. while from the blue expanse fair stars are gleaming over the night beneath, in sweetness beaming. Come, pretty maiden, look from thy lattice love, Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia. As o'er the stream we glide, borne by the rolling tide, Santa Lucia, Santa Come in, my friends, and see our dancing in Paris. La 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 la. For life is gay, so sing and dance. La 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 la. La 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 la. Come in, my friends, and see our dancing in Paris. La 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 la. For life is gay, so sing and dance. La la la.
Medal. The names of the numbers I can't pronounce. And now our special quiz, Fake It or Believe It. And here is our first contestant, minute quiz here. This young lady right here. What is your name, please, miss?
Petunia Sludge.
And your occupation, Miss Sludge?
I work in a freak show. I'm two of the legs of the four-legged girl.
Remind me to get your autograph later.
Yes, sir.
Miss Sludge, well, here is your first question. This is only a little quiz. We don't have cards. I'm giving you a question from memory. Now, what word of 3 letters stands for a sluggish, lifeless element?
3 letters,
Yeah?
and it stands for a sluggish, lifeless element.
Quiet in the audience, please. No queuing, no helping from the audience. She's in a spot, and she knows it. Come, Miss Sludge. What is the word? A sluggish, lifeless element in 3 letters.
I got it.
Good. What is it?
Man.
No, I'm sorry you missed, Miss Sludge. The word is dud. D-U-D, dud.
What's a dud?
Well, for further details, I refer you to Dr. James Wallington, M.D., Master of Duds. Duds cause a lot of trouble at this time of the year, don't they, Mr. Wallington? Or Doctor, excuse me, I dropped your title there.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Wallington?
Indeed they do, Dr. Allen. Now is the time of the year when duds, the sluggish, lifeless elements in gasoline, get in their deadliest work. Duds slow up your motor's response in any weather. But when it's cold, when your engine depends on just a few ounces of chilled gasoline in your carburetor, those duds can hold up starting action, can put a serious extra burden on your battery. Now, with Texaco Fire Chief, you can be sure you're not getting duds. They're out, completely removed by an important step in Texaco refining. That's what's behind those speedy Fire Chief starts. It's smooth pickup and fast warm-up. For in Fire Chief, you get only the lively, responsive elements in gasoline. The ones that vaporize quickly, fire evenly, and give full economical power. Try a Texaco dealer and Fire Chief. There's not a dud in a tank full.
And now the Texaco workshop players. Tonight they take cognizance of the recent cold snap that gripped the country. While severe snowstorms harassed the east and middle west, southern area gloated over tropical weather it was enjoying. Flashes from the swanky winter resorts all told the same story.
Miami Beach enjoying banner season. Mrs. Biddle Diddle has open house.
Palm Beach enjoying banner season. Mrs. Biddle Diddle Biddle has open house.
Bermuda enjoys banner season. Mrs. Biddle Diddle Diddle Biddle has open house.
And so, for the benefit of the plain folks who haven't a biddle to their names, no biddle names, for you in the colder vicinity, quiet, we've got to rush along here. I'd like to, I know you're just sitting there waiting to let go, but we've got to rush it through. Time is all important in the industry. Now, For you in the colder vicinities, ladies and gentlemen, who are unable to flee, a fine thing to broadcast to California, for you in the colder vicinities, who are unable to flee Jack Frost and take to a warmer clime, tonight we present a stay-at-home cruise. Lean back in your lumpy Morris chairs, folks. Forget the dimpled upholstery. Forget the wintry winds and the nippy nods. Join us on an imaginary jaunt to the gayest winter resort of them all, colorful, tropical Havana. Music, Alfredo. Havana, glamorous city of palm trees, coconuts, and eternal sunshine. As our boat, the SS Perfidio, number 7 on your hit parade, as our boat, SS Perfidio, glides into the picturesque harbor, a lady tourist turns to the captain and says,
Is this the harbor, Captain?
See, lady, see.
It's the sea, Merwin.
I told you.
As the SS Perfidia docks, and we stop at the customs shed, we find that most of the natives speak Spanish. Many tourists have difficulty with this foreign tongue. We watch the couple ahead of us as they prepare for the usual customs inspection.
Open up the bags, Harvey. Here comes the inspector.
Okay, Beulah.
Dispense me, senor. Americano?
Oh, yeah. We're Americans from New York.
The Bronx.
Don't be so specific, Beulah. We're from New York, mister.
Si, senor. Se hace siempre el camino del tobacco.
Huh?
Well, I guess he means our luggage, Harvey.
Oh, yeah. Everything's here, bud.
Se hace siempre el camino del tobacco.
Huh?
Camino de tobacco.
Oh, tobacco.
Si.
He means, are we sneaking in any tobacco?
Tobacco, si, senor.
No, I ain't got none. I don't smoke. I'm a coffee drinker.
Se hace siempre el camino de tobacco.
That's what he said before, Harvey.
This bum's got a one-crack mind.
Se hace siempre el camino de tobacco.
Oh, he's getting mad, Harvey.
Hey, look, fella, look. We ain't got no tobacco. Hey, let go of my windbreaker, will you?
Santa Lucia, camino de tobacco.
Oh, thank heavens, here's a cop, Harvey.
Si, senor, what is the trouble? What? It's this customs guy.
Yeah, he's menacing us in Spanish.
Camino de tobacco.
Yeah, he thinks we're smuggling tobacco, officer.
I will find out the trouble. ¿Qué quiere usted decir?
Americanos, Bronx, se hace siempre el camino de tobacco.
Si. The custom man, he see you are from New York. He ask you simple question.
About our bringing in tobacco?
No. He say, in New York, is tobacco road still running?
From the customs house, we proceed to the Prado, a main thoroughfare of Havana. The Prado is a gathering place for tourists. English-speaking guides tug at our mess jackets, inviting us to take their tours. One persistent guide grasps us firmly by the nub of our trousers, and so we decide to sample his jaunt. The tour is just about to leave. Okay, the tour is just starting, folks. Now keep your eyes peeled and your candid Kodaks cocked. I'll tell this native chauffeur to give it a guess. Miguel?
Si, senor.
Pronto, El Texaco.
Si, senor.
You gotta speak to them in their own tongue, folks, or they won't start. Now get ready, folks. The tour's underway. To your left, you see Havana's waterfront, folks. Deep-sea fishing is the second largest industry in Cuba.
What's the first?
Digging bait. Now, that sailboat yonder is a fishing party.
Don't they use hooks and lines, guys?
No, the natives use only their native pipes, lady. Listen.
Hey, those are pitch pipes, ain't they?
That's right.
What kind of fish can they catch with pitch pipes?
Tuna, lady. Now, over here
Hey,
on
look,
your...
guide. What are those native boys diving for?
They're diving for money, Bud.
Yeah, but they keep coming up with those slips of white paper.
Things is tough here, Bud. They're diving for IOUs. Now, over on your right, you see them beautiful trees. At this particular time of year, you can hear them trees whispering to each other in the breeze. Listen.
March 7th.
April 1st.
June 14th.
What kind of trees are those, guide?
Them are date palms making their dates. This is their making season, mister. Now, straight ahead, it is interesting. I happened to overhear you, mister. Straight ahead in that river, folks, is one of Havana's famous hat-making plants. 20 natives are busy making straw hats.
Well, where is everybody? All I can see is the river.
The natives weave them Panama hats right down in the river, Bud. They're all busy working down under the water right now. I'll greet them. Hiya, boys. And now, folks, in concluding with our tour, we come to the Capitol building in the heart of Havana, modeled after the U.S. Capitol in good old Washington, D.C. The door of the Capitol is open. You can hear the Parliament in session.
I make motion 8 billion centimos ancien oro.
I second the motion. 8 billion centimos ancien oro.
The bill is carried. 8 billion centimos ancien oro.
8 billion? Are they voting on a project, guys?
No, lady. 8 billion centimos is 15 cents.
What is that ancien oro?
Old gold. Parliament is sending out for cigarettes. Back home from our sightseeing tour, we join a small party about to take a trip through one of Havana's famous sugar plantations. As we enter the grounds, we hear the native sugar billies singing as they work in the fields. We stop to listen to the sugar billy.
Hand me down my sugar cane. Oh, hand me down my sugar cane. You can keep your sorghum, keep your beet, keep your glucose, though it's sweet. Just hand me down my sugar. Hand me down my sugar. Hand me down my sugar. Hand me my sugar cane.
We hand the sugar billies down their sugar cane to shut them up and turn to gaze in sticky awe at the great sugar refining plant. We spend a pleasant hour watching the sugar granulators granulating and the sugar lumpers lumping. And we leave the plantation just as the sugar auctioneer mounts his stand to start calling his popular sugar auctioneer's chant.
Sweet sugar, sold its saccharine.
And so, leaving the sugar plantation with sweet memories, we plod our weary way back to town. As the fiery tropical sun plops into the placid, briny slop, we scurry to the cattle boat that is to bring us back over the billowy sea. Standing on the gangplank with our porter, we turn for a fond last look at the waving date trees. But near at hand, we notice 2 waving palms, and a voice from above these palms cries out,
Cheapskate Americano, no tipo poro, doggone.
And with the red cap fuming in the sunset, we say Buenos what's this and Fornotrant Mañana to dear old Havana. And now from Larry Elliott, a message of importance to the music lovers of this entire Western Hemisphere.
This Saturday afternoon, 2 of the most popular gems of the opera world, Pagliacci and Cavalleria Rusticana, will both be broadcast from the Metropolitan Opera House in New York. In the cast, you will hear 2 young American-born winners of the Sherwin-Williams Metropolitan Auditions of the Year, Anna Kaskus and Leonard Warren. Pagliacci and Cavalleria Rusticana will be the 9th Metropolitan Opera Saturday matinee, sponsored by the Texas Company over another network of 211 stations reaching the entire Western Hemisphere.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight. This is Fred Allen saying good night for the more than 45,000 Texaco dealers from coast to coast. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Well, that's the way it was on January 29th, 1941. Come back again tomorrow when we spotlight Thursday, January 30th, 1941. And we have a couple interesting programs. I'll tell you about those in a second. Please subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to our newspaper channel. The link is in the description section to this video. I think you'll enjoy that. It is an extensive reading of the news from a specific date as we're going through World War II, one day at a time. I think you will enjoy getting a really broad perspective of what was going on in 1941. It'll blow. I think it'll blow your mind to see. Actually, one thing that really blows my mind when I read the newspaper is how much it takes to make war. I mean, you read about this stuff in the history books, but you really don't know all the different things that were going on to fund the war, to fuel the war machines, really, to fuel the war machines. And there's just so much stuff you got to think about. It's really, really a wild thing. And like us over on Facebook as well, the World War II News and Old Time Radio channel on YouTube over on Facebook. And I just share different things from other channels, other pages, and I think you'll find some of the stuff interesting that I post in there. All right, let me tell you what we have coming up tomorrow. Well, it's not going to be nearly as long of an upload as we had today, but it's going to be really interesting. Actually, it's going to be more of an informative program than an entertainment program as far as the radio shows go. Well, we do have Jack Armstrong. That's actually the only entertainment program that we have tomorrow night. Then we have a short 5-minute President Roosevelt speech, and I think this came from a longer program, and I was trying to search out this longer program because it sounds like they did a big birthday gala for President Roosevelt on the radio, and he did his little 5-minute speech at the end of it. President Roosevelt founded the March of Dimes, and this was a speech thanking the United States for their contributions to the March of Dimes. And then after that, we have America's Town Meeting of the Year. Now, this is the second of a two-part episode, a two-part program, set of programs they did. I did not have the first one last week, but we do have this one, and it has to do with Lend-Lease. They debate the Lend-Lease bill, and it was a very hot topic, and emotions run high during this America's Town Meeting of the Year, 1-hour program. So I think you will enjoy that for sure if you're a history buff. So we have one entertainment program tomorrow and 2 other programs that give you an idea of what people were thinking, what basically news stuff. So come back again for a Thursday night of quality radio programs. I'm Henry Chop, your host. Let's turn off this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Good night and God bless.
This changing world, this changing scene, where is it taking us? What does it mean? As long as we're certain of each other, we know we don't have to be afraid. These changing times we rise above. We have no time for them. We have our love, and love is the only thing that still remains the same through all this change.